From British airfield to British airfield, Jason Cooper continues to chase Andy McEwen down in the standings. Time is running out, however, and drops are soon to be figured in, and there isn't much racing room on this small layout at Silverstone. Hello and welcome to Pit Stop TV in the virtual Silverstone circuit. I'm Andrew Cardinale IV with JP Costa alongside, and JP, welcome to Silverstone.
Thank you very much, Andrew. This could be the British course of the season so far. These guys have been at home for many tracks, but this one might just be, well, the one that we know the most. Silverstone is a world-renowned track, obviously, for Formula 1, and I'm sure it's going to put a fantastic show for these MX-5 drivers tonight.
Yeah, and we're not running that full Silverstone circuit that I think so many might be used to. Let's get a look then at the Silverstone national layout that we're using this evening and again on Thursday. It's much tighter, much smaller. You pretty much just hang a sharp right at Maggots and cut all the way through to Brooklands, and that's basically your lap.
Yes, exactly. A really short, really interesting race course. Obviously, a lot of fast corners. Easy to make mistakes, Andrew, and I feel like that's going to be the opportunity for some of the drivers to capitalize. Obviously, much easy. It's very easy to get an off track at Cops. You know, you can still cut a corner or two at Maggots, and obviously Brooklands and Love Fields is extremely tricky, even on slower, low downforce cars like the MX-5.
And it's, going back to, well, you're running into Cops now for turn one, as opposed to that kind of new infield section. It's going to be a lot different, I think, in that regard. It's going to open up Cops to some interesting moves here off the start, especially we saw, most notably, I think, at Knock Hill in the TCR cars, where drivers, just didn't get a good start. Had whatever happened on the start. Nathan Davies had a big issue, and we had that lap one mayhem. It's kind of a throwback going back into turn one at Cops instead of elsewhere on the circuit. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys make it interesting on each and every single race course, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be no different. It has its own challenges, and obviously, even though it's a fast racing course, a lot of overtaking opportunities, because, well, these guys just overtake on each and every single corner when the opportunity comes.
We'll see how these guys do this evening, and I talked about the points kind of briefly. Let's bring those up now. You can see the top 20 in the standings. Andy McEwen leading the show, Jason Cooper there in second with those 7 wins, though. And this is all before any drop rounds. There will be 2 races, from what I've been told, dropped off of these drivers' totals, which is really going to help Jason Cooper because he missed a couple of races to start the season. In fact, he missed, I believe, round 1 and maybe even round 2. No, I think it was just round 1 at Donington Park. So that's going to bring Jason Cooper back into the conversation and actually put him first currently over Andy McEwen. So Andy's got to build up kind of a 40 to, more than that. He's got to try and build at least, several points. I don't know if there is any. I think it's just going to be Jason Cooper straight to the top, Tom Griffiths along with, and even Casper to Court. I mean, it's going to be a massive swing when those drops come in.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to change a lot the complexity of the championship. Obviously, as it stands right now, McEwen, as you mentioned, leading only 21 points, so it could change even after tonight's 4 rounds, Andrew. It could change even after round 1, so it's really interesting. Obviously, Andy is the only driver in the top 6 who hasn't won a race yet.
Yeah, you got to go back to James Clark in 7th for another winless driver, even James Neve in 10th. When you look at the right side of the standings, though, you see Liam Silkstone and Douglas Stewart pretty close together, separated by just 22 points, and Paul Donkin is a little ways back, but within 100 of those guys. And then Nathan Davies is a good ways back, but in that Pro-Am conversation nonetheless, with guys like Ben Williams and Adam Mitchinson right at the top 20 cutoff. So there is plenty to talk about, including Mitchinson being your amateur leader as we come into today's racing. A look at the schedule then. We've looked at it plenty of times. We won't sit on this for too long. We don't want to talk about it for too much, but that is your 9-round season schedule. Donington, Brands Indy, that is, then Spa, Daytona, Knock Hill, Snetterton, Silverstone now at round 7, Brands Hatch next week on the GP circuit, and down to Bathurst for round number 9 to wrap this thing up in February.
It's going to be a really interesting end of the championship. Obviously, going to the longer version of Brands Hatch and obviously going to Australia for the last round of the season will be so interesting. And I guess it's going to be a completely different challenge for some of these drivers as well.
Getting a look at the track for a bit of qualifying here. I actually just hot switched to a different car that was right next to the previous one. We were just in a line right now. I'm trying to mix out all around throughout the field, and it's just guys that are next to each other. Here we go. Fiona Siddons in the 22nd spot. Let's go ahead and start from the bottom and work our way up today. We're going to begin then with Douglas Stewart, who is currently in the 24th position. 5 cars behind him have not turned a lap yet. That makes a 29-car field so far. Stewart follows Julian Schroer into Brooklands, it looks like. Yes, I do believe that is Brooklands. Yes, it is.
Exactly. Douglas Stewart really needs to improve this qualifying position so far because he's second in points, Andrew, on the Pro-Am class. He's only a few points, I'm pretty sure only 12 points. Yeah, 12 points, 22 points behind Liam Silverstone. So he really needs to improve that qualifying position to get him a better opportunity to even get a few of those points off from this guy right here, the number 594, Liam Silverstone, who so far is doing a great qualifying.
Yeah, he's up in the 12th position overall, and that is leading Pro-Am. Here's a look at Julian Schroer coming in now. Duncan Cope is out there on the 512, currently in 22nd. I think Duncan actually just went faster than Fiona Siddons and moved up that one spot. Adam Mitchinson, your amateur points leader, sits currently in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th position in amateur. That is 18th overall, but everybody's within a second almost of the pole sitter. I think there's just 5 cars at the bottom that are not within that second, and they begin with Douglas Stewart, who is now up to 20th.
That's a really close field. I feel like this might be the closest qualifying we've had all season when you consider all the drivers. Just a handful of them are below the 1 second mark from the leader, so extremely
when you
close.
Consider the track.
Yeah, obviously.
It's a Dorito. I mean, it's a Popeye's biscuit away from the triangle. It's nothing too crazy. And I think, I know drivers have said, it doesn't feel like it's much of anything when they lap here, but I think it is still a good course. It's short. It is a lot easier, certainly. But you're still going to have the cream rise to the top. It might open up a few more guys to kind of squeak on through if they wouldn't otherwise, but you're still going to have the cream rising to the top. The best of the best will still be good here today at Silverstone National. It's still going to be a challenging circuit in that way, but you do have 3 very long straightaways that make up a large portion of this course, and Copse is, it's just a 90-degree right-hand corner for the most part. Obviously, you have that runoff, and it's more complicated than just a 90-degree right-hand corner, but at its essence, it's pretty simple. Maggots is, in this course, decently simple. It's a braking zone that sweeps back around to the right, and you can absolutely mess that up. I did so in practice myself, believe me. If there's anybody that's going to mess up a corner, it will be me. Aintree isn't all that complicated. You just head yourself onto that back stretch down to Brooklands and Luffield, and of course Woodcote. Really, is that even a corner? Not really. So your corners to watch really are Copse, Maggots, Brooklands, and Luffield. It's almost just a 4-corner. I mean, if you bent it the right way, it could be an oval. It could be a NASCAR course.
It almost looks like that Sakir course in Formula 1 ran in 2020.
There you go.
It's just, yeah, it's just pretty much an oval, as you mentioned. So
where's George
it's
Russell?
Really interesting. What was that?
Where's George Russell when you need him?
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Put him in the Mercedes.
We've talked about some of the guys towards the bottom of the grid so far. Let's go to the top now with Michael Seal leading the way in qualifying. Kind of surprised, actually, that he is the best of the best right now. But, I mean, I'm not surprised that he's quick, just that he is number 1 as he works around here behind Tom Griffiths, actually, and ahead of... well, there's Ben Williams. I was going to say Ben Williams. But anyways, Jason Cooper is currently second. He's weaving around with a couple of his teammates. You see Lars Fischer behind, and Casper DeCourt is just up the road, and they will now join in with one another, it looks like, as they come into, is that Brooklands as well? I think it is.
Looks like they're going to start a lap. Only 32 thousandths of a second separating Cooper from Seal. Looks like this, he was weaving the tires, so this might just be the warm-up lap. Next lap, we should see Jason probably improving. But Andrew, as you mentioned, a lot of straightaways means you need the help from your teammates. And sometimes only one teammate might not do the trick, since you're going to close in so quickly to him. You might lose him on the 2nd or 3rd straightaway.
You see the weather conditions there as well. There's a lot of information here to look at, but we'll try and digest it for you. So obviously the bottom right, that is, they work by, I think that was Fiona there off the right. Obviously the bottom right, that is your qualifying graphic. So you can see the difference to the pole sitter as things stand. Their best lap, if we're following on board with the driver, in which case we are here, Jason Cooper, and the lap as it is currently being timed. So you can see that's about halfway in the lap, and they have the back half of the track to go. He looks like he's aborting that lap. There goes Casper, there goes Lars Fischer. Fisher. And on the left side, that's where you can see the weather conditions as we stand here in qualifying. 72 degrees just about in the air, Fahrenheit. Overcast, as you can very well see, and 79-degree track temp. If you translate that to Celsius, that is, what, 22 degrees. Not very warm. Not very warm at all. That's about what we keep the house at here.
Absolutely. This just might be home territory again for them, isn't it, Andrew? Just not too cold, but not too hot as well. Just a classic British weather. You can see it's even cloud. It's not even sunny. So, yeah, just about home for them.
Here's a look at Tom Griffiths, one of your Excite Energy Racing drivers, being followed here actually by one of his teammates in Liam Silverstone. They'll now, I guess, flinch back left, I think, giving this lap up, potentially. So these guys playing some games, working the tires, and trying to get the best out of it. James Clark is 5th in qualifying so far. Casper DeCourt 6th. Lee Holmes is 7th. How about that for the 35 car?
That's a really good qualifying short for him. 7th overall, only 2/10 of a second behind the leader. And, well, if he just improves by a few thousandths of a second, a few hundreds, he can even get 2 positions, so he could start in 6th place overall. Obviously, a lot of competition amongst them. As you can see now, 8th place, Nick Clibbins on the 13 car. He could improve on this lap if those... Is that a teammate? No, that was not a teammate. So, oh, there you go. So he's going to board that lap. Maybe a small mistake for him. So, with 1 minute 13, this might just be his last shot.
A look there at Lars Fisher. They'll come out of Woodcote now and begin a new lap, it looks like. James Neve in the top 10. He is not on the racetrack. Looks like his efforts are done. Craig Schill is out there. In fact, we just saw him, actually, while we were watching everything happen there with Nick Clibbins in the Brooklands. We saw a bit of that 982-88 Tech Mazda Miata. Craig sits 11th and on pole currently for amateur, and I like what Craig has done all the way since back at Daytona. He's just found something, has gotten a lot more aggressive, and is starting to race like he means it a lot more, I think, and it's definitely been a lot of fun to watch. He's got the 921 of Michael Lease right behind as, he goes off track a little bit, and that will invalidate that lap more than likely. And we'll continue to look around this field. I noticed that Ben Williams is back in the grid. We haven't seen a whole lot of him as of late, but it's good to see the red and black 75 back in the field. And up to 7th.
Yeah, there we go. So he improves his lap. So we're really seeing the 75 back, which is really good to see. Seeing, obviously, him just battling with the top guys, battling the top 10 would be really fun to see that car once again in the top 10.
He'll now work into Maggots and back around Aintree there for the kind of first real good complex of racing. And there is a look at your points leader, Andy McEwen. I think that's going to change, but he has put together a pretty good season himself. No wins just yet, but very, very consistent. Has kept himself out of trouble for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's exactly what he needs. He's leading the championship against a guy that won 7 times. So consistency for Andy is just the key for him. Obviously, this qualifying is not doing him too many favors on the championship if you consider he's currently 15th, if I'm not mistaken. So he's not doing what we kind of expected from him, but hopefully on this lap he will improve. We're going to check that out in around 5 seconds. He got a good slipstream from the driver ahead. Will he improve? Currently his time is at 105.0, 104.919. He improves by 1/10 of a second. But that's not good enough for the top 10.
But it was faster, and he is very close now to Craig Schill. I don't think he's going to beat the 982, but Liam Silverstone and Jamie Gulliford have both gone faster. There is Jamie Gulliford ending his qualifying run, and just about everybody is done now. Jason Cooper's still out there, Marcelo Pagnan is out there, but they're all coming into the pit lane, and certainly marking the end of qualifying here for round number 7, which means we'll have an opportunity in just a moment to go through your starting grid. That is, of course, once the entire field is done. We appreciate you being here, joining us this evening on Pit Stop TV for round 7 coverage of the British Sim Racers Trophy Tuesdays MX-5s. It's been a lot of fun so far this season, and I thought we had that image for that. I guess not. But it's been a lot of fun, truthfully, with the BSR guys all season long, and I very much look forward to the rest of the season, whatever comes next with the British Sim Racers. It is also worth noting, JP, I noticed the track length, 1.62 miles. That's just over half of Snetterton's track length last week. That is quite short in comparison to what we had last week at Snetterton, and it's quite short also compared to what we'll have at Bathurst in just a couple of weeks. So Yeah, that is definitely a culture shock in that way. We've got a grid of cars ready to go, though, and we will go ahead and go through your top starters. On pole, it is Michael Seal, so congratulations. Good driver 57 for a pole this evening. Jason Cooper will start from second. Starting third this evening in race number 1, it's Marcelo Pagnan. Tom Griffiths will grid up in fourth. Starting fifth, it's James Clark in the number 20 with Casper DeCourt starting sixth for 5-Star Motorsports. You've got Ben Williams starting seventh, Lee Holmes starting eighth, Lars Fischer and Nick Clibbins will wrap up your top 10 for race 1.
Starting off in 11th place is going to be the Pro and pole sitter of Liam Silverstone, his 594 machine. The number 7 of James Neve will line up alongside him on 12th place. Row number 7 will go to Jamie Gulliford in the 599 and Craig Schill for our amateur pole sitter in 14th place. 15th place in row number 8 will go to Andy McEwen in the number 4, overall points leader, and Adam Fox in 16th place on his outside. 17th will go to Glenn Humberstone in the 513 and Michael Lees in 18th place on the 921. Row number 10 will be, Adam Mitchinson on the inside and Colin Sampson in the 976 on his outside.
We did bump up to 30 cars before qualifying ended, so we've got 10 more to go through, beginning with Fiona Siddons in 21st and Douglas Stewart in 22nd. Then there's Julian Schroer in 23rd, Duncan Cope 24th. Finally, we get back to guys like James Sharp, Adam Delmont starting very deep in the field, as well as Thor Tullo starting 27th, and Andrew Jebsen starting 28th, followed up by Paul Donkin, now a race winner, in 29th, and Mark Oliver completing your field. Red lights on, waiting on green lights then for race number 1 at Silverstone, and away we go. Jason Cooper leads into maggots already. He's got the top spot over Michael Seal, then Marcelo Pagnan, Tom Griffiths. They all work now out of Aintree and down that backstretch, JP. A lot going on in the first few corners, but everybody looks clean so far.
Absolutely, that wider turn 1, that wider arc really helped some of the drivers to make it clean. As you can see, Marcelo Pagnan going for second place, maybe even going for first. He's going to challenge Jason Cooper down into turn 4. Can he get the moves? He's going to be forced to the outside. They're going to go side by side, but Jason Cooper looks like got the better line. He's going to keep himself in the first position, but Angel looks like the slipstream is strong enough, for drivers to have difficulty driving away and defending their positions.
We'll wrap up lap number 1 with Jason Cooper on top of the field. And that is 1 lap in the books. We're expecting about 14 laps today in these races. Make that 13 now. Cooper round the outside because Pagnan has gone up the inside to take the race lead away, but how long will that last?
I dare say not too long. The slipstream is just way too powerful. Look at this first group. Marcelo is going to have the inside line into maggots. Jason Cooper is going to be forced to the outside now into Aintree, who's going to come out on top. Jason Cooper rides that curb. That car bounces a bit. Marcelo Pagnan, though, keeps that position for the time being. But look at this, Andrew. It's a drag race.
Cooper with the edge. He'll have the preferred line into Brooklands unless Tom Griffiths goes to the inside, and he will. 3 wide for the race lead into Brooklands there. Griffiths has got it. Cooper trying to power back on the inside, and we've got a crash. Everybody scatters. Ben Williams has stopped.
Oh, unfortunately for Ben Williams, you can see a lot of drivers taking avoiding action. That's going to shake up a little bit of the field. That's damage to the 920. That front wheel was locked, so suspension damage maybe for him. Ben Williams now returning to race pace. Is that car too damaged? Doesn't look like it.
We'll see exactly what happened here for Ben Williams and several others into Brooklands. He's going to have help, certainly, and it looks like it's going to come from Lee Holmes. Lee Holmes is that green 88 Tech car behind. You see the 3 wide up front, and Lee just lunges in big time. It sends DeCourt into a bit of a spin. Liam Silverstone goes around with help, and Ben Williams is sat there, a sitting duck, as the entire field comes on through.
Really lucky for him. The whole field managed to avoid. As you can see, he kind of spins out the tires after the grass, but returns it to race pace. I guess only 1 casualty, was it, Andrew? So a lucky crash either. It was a lucky crash at a lucky spot. And you can see, Jason Cooper now back to 3rd place. Marcelo Pagnan leading Tom Griffiths. Jason Cooper, Michael Seal still in 4th place. This is a really close battle for the lead.
This is very close. Pagnon has a pretty good edge, the best edge we've seen all day, it looks like. I say all day, it's been 2 laps as we, well, 3 laps now as we wrap up lap number 3. Lee Holmes still in this front group, now battling with Michael Seal for the 4th position, as your top 3 look like they might bunch back up here.
Yeah, they might just do it. Obviously, now the straightaways, drivers are going to close. Tom Griffiths, it looks like, got not a great accident. Jason Cooper might just have the edge coming into Maggots. Will he lunge down the inside? Not quite, just following in line. As you can see, a battle for 3rd place. Lee Holmes trying to go around the outside of Michael Seal. Could not get it. Michael just closes the door beautifully. But now it's going to be a drag race once again for them. And Marcelo Pagano might have to defend as they go into Brooklands.
Look at this shot. The entire field in one grouping there down the backstretch. Griffith's going to look to the corner. Has to back out of it. That was almost aggressive for the lead. Jason Cooper sits in behind, and Lee Holmes continues to challenge there with Michael Seal. Ends up giving that battle up for now. Come around Luffield, and that'll be another lap here in just one moment. The draft, though, going to kick back in. Slipstream, an option for these drivers as they come back through the gears.
A better exit looks like for Lee Holmes, but not too much. As you can see, the number 5 really just got slipstream. As soon as you're in that train injury, it's really hard to make up ground. As you can see, another few battles right here. Wasn't Casper DeCord involved in that incident with Ben Williams?
He did get a small piece of it, but he now sits in the 6th spot just ahead of this guy that we're watching, Andy McEwen. He's gone purple the last 2 laps. This should be a good seat.
Yeah, qualifying wasn't his strong spot today, but his race pace is absolutely amazing. He's doing great. Already up into 7th, as you can see. He started 15th, Andrew, so in a span of 5 minutes, already made up, 8 positions? That's really good.
He's already cut that gap down quite a bit as Tom Griffiths, I think, looking to the inside again. These guys mixing things up. Now Cooper gets to the inside of Griffiths. Slots himself back into the 2nd position. A bit of a checkup there through Brooklands and Luffield. You saw those guys kind of smoke some tires checking up as Lars Fischer works on Andy McEwen. This entire front group having some great battles. Your first non-pro car, that is going to be Jamie Gulliford in the 599 in the 9th position, followed up closely by Adam Fox, who is an amateur driver. So each of your class leaders are in the top 10 with Gulliford and Fox just barely making the cut for now. Michael Leese and Adam Delmont doing battle back here, and Delmont is up a lot of positions as well. He's into 12th. Where did he start? Oh, only in 26th.
That's another great start. So he's doing absolutely fantastic. He's going to get a few help for, looks like his teammates just behind and ahead. So that's really going to help his charge. Hopefully they can work as a team and make a lot of spots. As you can see, now we cut for the battle for the lead of the front group, at least. As you can see, that is Lars Fischer, Casper DeCord, and Andy McEwen. Looks like they're going to stick into position, but the number 96 might have something to do with his teammate. Not quite. Jason Cooper still trailing Marcelo Pagano.
Really good stuff through and through the entire field here as they work through Brooklands and Luffield. This is a really cool view, just watching the entire field kind of do that S. Lap number 6 going to wrap up. Pagnon leading, then it's Cooper, Griffin, Seal, Holmes, McEwen, Court, and Fisher. Some other conversation throughout the entire field, including that of Paul Donkin, who is 3 laps down in the 30th position, dead last so far. And a couple of battles with guys like, oh, here we go, Andrew Jebsen and Fiona Siddons as one car joins the field. That is Douglas Stewart, actually, rejoining, it looks like. I didn't think he would have been pitting here, but he was off there. Gets back on. He might not have actually been pitting. He might have gotten loose and gone down there. Jebsen up the inside. Fiona Siddons wide there through Maggots and Aintree.
She took avoiding action, compromised a little bit of her entry, but well, look at that exit, Andrew. Really good already alongside. This is a battle for 18th place, and well, we might just know who's going to come out on top on the braking zone. As you can see, they're touching mirrors. That was really close between them. Fiona's going to be forced to the outside. Might just have to give up that position to Jebsen for the time being, and well, they're going to fall back in line. So that's a battle.
Contact!
Oh,
and she turns him around.
Yeah, she moved him, so well, Jebsen, unfortunately, after getting that position, got a bump from behind. He's going to lose a lot of positions sitting outside of the top 20, and Fiona will have company right now as they head into turn 1.
So Jebsen drops through the order, and now new battles. They will take focus. James Clark, and Michael Lee says, boy, there's great racing all over the racetrack right now. We'll move up the racetrack a little bit get closer to our guys in the top 10. There's a look again at Adam Delmont. I'm mixing names up today. Don't know what I'm doing there, but actually, there has been a lead change. We kind of skipped over all of that. Jason Cooper has taken over point of the field.
Yeah, I was just going to mention, Jason Cooper managed to take the lead and kind of drove away, building that same gap that Marcelo built at the early part of the race, so around 3/4 tenths of a second. Obviously, Marcelo right now needs to worry about the number 11. Tom Griffiths just behind him, but he needs to, well, shake up that pressure. Andrew just has to soak it in to focus on the number 1 driving away from him. The gap now 4 tenths of a second. As you can see, Andy McEwen looks like it's dropping off the water.
Yep, it's connection again. Our points leader, a second week in a row having connection issues, and if this is what takes him out of the running for a championship, that would definitely be a killer blow. He's dropped all the way down the order. I say all the way down the order, no. He is back in 6th, so he maintains his position, but yeah, that's never ideal when you have those connection issues. It becomes very distracting for a driver to have to deal with that. Tom Griffiths, Marcelo Pagnan, Jason Cooper, that's your top 3 as we work lap number 9 of 14. They're just clicking off and away.
As you mentioned, just clicking off lap after lap. It's really flying by this race. As you can see, another few battles looks like. That's Tom Griffiths just closing in on Marcelo Pagnan. Couldn't really get the move done. And, well, Andrew, with this battle, he got really loose, managed to save it and closes the door on Michael Seal, who tried to sneak in there. But that's going to give Marcelo now a breathing room to hopefully focus on Jason Cooper, trying to take the lead away. Now they kind of distance themselves with that brake check. Michael Seal comes under pressure from Lee Holmes.
Kind of had a chain of reaction there. Back the field up just a little bit, kind of accordion effect the entire field. Now there's good battles further on back with Lars Fischer, Jamie Gulliford, Adam Fox, and some changes of position even further back. Michael Lees, James Clark, Julian Schroer, and Liam Silkstone here. This is in a Cops. Silkstone going to take that spot away. And Schroer falls back to his teammate of Douglas Stewart, but that might not last.
Might not last because this move could happen just as early as turn number 3. Not quite close enough, as you can see a few drivers trying to take. That's an interesting line, Andrew. I feel like you could take a lot of different lines through turns number 2 and 3. Obviously, Maggots and Aintree. It's a really interesting corner. Obviously, if you're defending or attacking, lines could be very different. As you can see, another few battles coming into Brooklands. This is a 921 going quite wide. That's going to be a bit of contact. No! Somehow they both save it. James Clark tries to save it from Michael Lees. And they both, well, keep going, pointing at the right direction.
Clark trying to get that spot, almost had it a moment ago. Lees gets it back, and they continue on. James Neve, Fiona Siddons, some good battles back here. Thortullo, Colin Sansom even. They'll round Woodcote, but get another lap. As Delmont and Fox start to do battle, and there they go, crashing in Cops.
Both of them spun out. Maybe another driver was collected, and that's going to have a chain of reaction to the rest of the field, I'd say as well. So
that's your amateur leader.
Andrew? Yeah, and that was down into turn 1, wasn't it?
It was. That was down into Cops. We're going to look at it here. Fox on the left side. Delmont goes in. Oh, we're going to have to get another look at that. There's a problem now for Fiona Siddons. We'll get one more replay here of this issue with Fox and Delmont. The contact there. That's really hard to say.
Yeah, that's Delmont tried to go for a gap down into turn 1. Was the gap there? Was it not? It's difficult. That's a difficult one to say. I'm glad I'm not the race director as well.
This is the aftermath. Fiona Siddons, another car is going to be 3 wide. Delmont there on the inside. Fiona comes in, collects Thortullo and Adam Delmont. And that was some hard contact, and she's done.
Yeah, that car is destroyed, and Delmont got involved in 2 accidents in, well, essentially 2 corners. That's going to hurt his point situation when we think about the incident limit as well, Andrew. Drivers were taking, well, quite a wide line into turn 1, and with 2 4Xs, that could pay dividend at the end of the race.
Oh my goodness, Paul Duncan! Oh my! Craig Schill and Colin Sansom were spun out in Cops, and that was Paul Duncan in the Red Bull colors that came on through. That was scary. As here we go, battles in the top 10, the top 5 even. Andy McEwen around the outside now of Lee Holmes trying to get a spot away. This is for 5th.
He goes to the outside line. He's going to have a better drive off. And looks like they're going to go side by side into Cops. Looks like Lee Holmes still holds the position for now. Obviously, he has the advantage of the slipstream, but that advantage now switches back to the number 4. They're going to go side by side into Cops. Could we go too wide? As you can see, the car just leaning on the suspension. We go too wide, and the number 4 again gets a better run, but Andrew, he's going to be forced to the outside. Can he get this position? He's going to have to be brave. Can he outbrake the number 35? They're going to go side by side into the braking zone, but looks like number 35 gets the position for the time being.
But that's going to switch up now as Lee Holmes on the left side will maintain the advantageous line down to Brooklands on board with Andy McEwen. And Andy's going to have to go around the outside again if he wants this spot. You can see some battling maybe starting ahead for second. McEwen is going to give that spot back to Lee Holmes. Now going to try the left side through left field. Casper DeCourt going to try and fill that hole. You've got to make the pass or, well, in this case, risk losing a spot potentially to Casper DeCourt if you're Andy McEwen. And now you can see McEwen going to have to sit back and try and regroup and now defend from that 5 car. Jason Cooper, Marcelo Pagnon, they'll bring us onto the final lap at Silverstone.
Final lap, final tour for these guys on race number 1. As you can see, Marcelo really close right now. He really wants this overall victory. Jason, I'm pretty sure, will do everything he can to defend. And obviously, don't rule out the number 11, Tom Griffiths, could benefit from any incident between these two. Now they head into turn 3. As you can see, Marcelo might just go down the inside. Maybe that was a bit of contact right there. Not quite sure. Oh, and Cooper's going to go really wide. That's really going to compromise his exit. And look at the number 11, Andrew.
Griffiths is boxing that 15 car in right now. Marcelo can't come over too far. He's going to try it, though. Down the backstretch into Brooklands will go. There's contact and crashing throughout the entire field as these guys battle for the race win in race number 1. Marcelo Pagnon goes deep. It's the white flag presented by Whiplash Simcams. Seal around the outside. He grabs a spot. He's into 3rd. Jason Cooper, though, is going to pull away from them all, and he is going to make it 8 wins in this season. That is incredible. It's not official just yet. He could have something happen, but it will be official now. Across the line, Jason Cooper wins race 1 and 3 wide. Oh. Seal grabs 2nd.
Somehow he got a better run. I'm pretty sure he grabbed 2nd, and I'm not quite sure if Marcelo held off for 3rd. That was amazing. As you can see now the rest of the top 10 making their way. Gulliford somehow snatches an overall top 10. Adam Fox, the amateur winner. What an absolutely amazing race we had, Andrew.
So I think the line that we're racing to may actually be this line. I'm a little unsure. I believe this is the line we're racing to, in which case Marcelo Pagnon hung on to 2nd place over Michael Seal. iRacing isn't usually very clear about those kinds of things, but that is one heck of a way, regardless, to wrap up race number 1. We'll try and get a replay here after we do a spin. Couple of positions get finalized. I think some penalties now applied, so we'll go ahead and bring up the spinning wheel for the first time today. And of course, determine our first invert of the day. In case you're new here, that's what we do. We spin a wheel, determine the invert between each race, and we go racing. Your first invert of the day, that's 15 cars, and that will put Julian Schroer on pole, one of your Pro-Am drivers. He finishes 3rd in class in this race, no, 4th in class in this race, and now we'll get to start from 1st overall. Let's go ahead and get a look at your unofficial race results as they finished up here in race number 1 at Silverstone.
Jason Cooper, as we mentioned, won the race well over 0.3 of a second ahead of Marcelo Pagnon, who just held off Michael Seal in a last lap overtake, in a last corner essentially overtake over Tom Griffiths, who finished 4th. Lee Holmes finishes in 5th place after holding off Andrew McEwen. Casper DeCourt could not, utilize that momentum to overtake the number 4, so he finishes in 7th place. Lars Fischer, his teammate, is going to be finished off in 8th. Jamie Gulliford is going to finish off in 9th place, the winner of the Pro-Am class, and Nick Clibbins is going to be rounding off our top 10.
Finishing 11th in race number 1, you'll find Liam Silkstone in the 594. That is 2nd in class. Then it's Adam Fox, who does hang on for your amateur race win, just over, actually quite a ways ahead of Adam Mitchinson, his nearest competition in amateur. So that's 8 positions, 12 seconds on the racetrack there for Adam Fox, margin of victory. It's Douglas Stewart 13th, James Neven 14th, Julian Schroer will be your invert car in 15th, Duncan Cope 16th, Ben Williams, Thor Tolo, James Sharp, and Adam Mitchinson round up your top 20.
In 21st place will be Glenn Humberstone in his 513, ahead of Colin Sampson, just over 0.2 of a second. Adam Dalman in number 77 after his contact in turn number 1 is going to be finished off in 23rd place, ahead of Michael Lees in the 921. James Clark is going to be finished off in 25th. Andrew Jebsen in 26th. Craig Schill in 27th, and he's going to be the last driver to finish on the lead lap. Mark Oliver is going to be finished off in 28th place, just 1 lap down. Paul Duncan in 29th place, 3 laps down, and Fiona Siddons, unfortunately, after her contact into maggots, in 30th place, 4 laps down.
In case for some reason you decide that that's enough racing for you, that's enough blood pressure getting raised in this one, here are some upcoming broadcasts for us here on Pit Stop TV. Tomorrow night, it's the Outlaw Sim Series Daytona Duels, obviously then, from Daytona at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Thursday, it's BSRTC right back here on this layout of Silverstone. It's going to be a lot of fun. Very short track and definitely very fun, very fast racetrack here at Silverstone, the national layout with touring cars. That's going to be exciting. And then we wrap back around to Tuesday, and we've got more BSR MX-5 action, this time from Brands Hatch Grand Prix next week at 8 p.m. UK. That is 3 p.m. Eastern. So a lot to tune in for this next week. And going on through February, we've got a new series on the way. It's the North American Racing League Porsche Cup season coming up. That's going to be a lot of fun. We've got, of course, Scars finishing up at the end of the month. We've got NARL GT3 headed back in March, so a lot of stuff coming here at Pit Stop TV, and a lot of reason to tune in throughout the month. We will take a step aside, however, and be right back to you in just a few moments. If you want to join the conversation here at Pit Stop TV, plenty of ways to do so, and you can use hashtag PitStopTV or hashtag BSRMX5 to join in today. We certainly urge that you do so. And drivers, if you're listening to my voice right now, we like to see pictures of cars. Send us pictures of cars, tweet to us, Facebook us, Instagram us, whatever it may be, and we will certainly drop a like. That is it for race number 1. Race number 2 on the way at Silverstone. Welcome back to the virtual Silverstone circuit, and we are ready for race number 2. Just a matter of seconds left in race 2's warm-up. As you can see, it is still very, very overcast in the sim. And JP, whenever we have these races when it's very overcast, we get to talk about tire temps and really the lack thereof. It's going to be another cool one.
Exactly. In this track, I guess it offers the most interesting, challenge for tire temps, because as we mentioned, it's pretty much an oval. It's just flat, not a lot of braking zones, not a lot of fast or slow corners to heat up those tires, and a lot of straightaways to cool them.
Yeah, there's not too much to the course here. You can see 3 main straightaways. You have the... this is a lot like Pocono in NASCAR, where it is a triangle. You have 3 different ends of the racetrack, 2 different corners. The difference here is somebody just got a little bit more creative with each of the corners. You have Cops, which is a mostly 90-degree corner, but there's other finicky things to it. It's very difficult to get around, and certainly Maggots and Aintree are a bit complicated. That braking zone sweeping around turn number 3 and headed onto that backstretch, and then Brooklands and Luffield is the most creative area of racetrack, and certainly is, much more challenging. It's that big sweeping S pretty much, and obviously it's a lot more complicated than that to end up with this layout, but that's kind of what it feels like when you look down upon it. We have cars getting ready for race number 2. Your grid, at least in the front: Julian Schroer, James Neve, Douglas Stewart, Adam Fox, Liam Silkstone, Nick Clibbins, Jamie Gelliford, Lars Fischer, Casper DeCourt, and Andy McEwen, your top 10. We're only a moment or so away from letting these guys go racing, though, so we'll save the grid graphic itself as these guys get ready for race number 2. There we go. Red lights are on. The revs come up, bouncing off of the chip. A couple of cars in the pit lane. And green flag is out at Silverstone. James Neve led through Cops. It's a run now down to Maggots and Aintree. Not Maggots and Beckett's. Maggots and Aintree years. We're 3 wide for third.
3 wide for third. As you mentioned, James Neve already took the lead. As you can see, a few drivers going side by side, trying to get those positions. The top 2 kind of breaking away with all those battles behind. But, well, looks like everybody makes it safely. And Andrew, we pretty much have a moving roadblock because we nearly went 4 wide. And it looks like we have a car spun around on the exit of Aintree. And it looks like that's an amateur driver.
It was Michael Lee, so here we go. 3 wide into Brooklands and Luffield here. This is back around 6th on back. Contact, 1 car around Lars Fischer. Contact with Liam Silkstone. Tom Griffiths hits him. And it looks like Casper DeCourt has gone around. It has spun around.
So another 2 drivers spun around, on 3 if you count them, the ones that made contact. So a bit hairier, I guess, a bit more aggressive start than we had in race number 1, but still overall a clean start, Andrew. As you can see, even a few more drivers going side by side as we head into Cops.
Lap 1 in the books. Back up front, it's Neve, Schroer, and Adam Fox. 3 leaders leading this race in each of their classes. First, second, third. Nick Clibbins is the first of the second place drivers. It's Andy McEwen in 5th place. That is 5th overall. 3rd in class. There we go. The pro drivers being in different positions always mixes me up. Douglas Stewart in 6th. That is 2nd in Pro-Am. Jamie Gulliford is 10th or 3rd in Pro-Am as we race down to Brooklands once more. Oh, Julian Schroer, very, very unsettled there.
James Neve wasn't really quickly through this section as well. Really allowed those 2 drivers to catch up. It looks like a bit of contact between Nick Clibbins and Adam Fox. As you can see, he got out of shape twice. And that's going to allow the number 13 to, well, essentially just get a free overtake, a free position. As you can see, a really bad run for him. Maybe it's going to allow Andy McEwen as well to get a look down into Cops.
McEwen's going to have a look. Very close there. Thankfully, they saved it through Cops. And recall, it was Adam Fox who was in that contact with Adam Delmont in race number 1. So that black and orange 966 that is racing here with Andy McEwen into Maggots now. Oh. They had that issue in Cops in the previous race, and that's well deep into Maggots for Fox. But he's going to get a run out of Aintree, squares it back off, and gets going now, racing with Douglas Stewart. This is for 5th.
Really losing a lot of position. Adam Fox really needs to get back in shape and defend, but looks like he just did that on this straightaway. Douglas Stewart might not have a look down into Brooklands. No, he doesn't. So he maintains position. The number 996, the number 966 needs to, well, use Andy McEwen just ahead. Use that slipstream to defend to allow him to keep that 5th place for as long as possible, as we might have a battle for 2nd place evolving.
A lot of great battles through and through. Here's a look at some of them. It is definitely just a treat to be able to watch these guys at work. Always really good stuff watching them lap around these racetracks. Lee Holmes in the pit lane, it looks like. Trying to roll back onto the track. No, that is Mark Oliver, actually. No, that was not Mark Oliver. Was that Lee Holmes in the pit lane? I guess it would have had to have been.
Lee is in 6th place.
Okay. Well, there was definitely an 88 tech car in the pits. I guess it's not Lee Holmes. I don't know who it was. I don't recall too many more. There's only 3. I don't know, but here we go. James Clark with some smoke ahead. Marcelo Pagnan there. No, it was James Sharp way out wide. I don't see Marcelo in the race.
Oh, that's...
Oh, no, I'm blind.
No,
he's 12th. Yeah. He's 12th. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that was his team again, really out of shape, but they both keep going in the right direction. Yeah, James Sharp not having the best position. 26th place overall, so not a great race for him. Luckily, his teammate is picking up a few points for the team standings. As you can see, another battle. This is Adam Dalmont battling with, that is Marcelo Pagnan. No, that's Jamie Gulliford.
Yeah, Jamie Gulliford and then Marcelo Pagnan right behind. This is 10th, 11th, and 12th on the racetrack. Delmont holds 10th currently. Marcelo is 12th, but is trying to become 11th, and he's got it now by a nose. As we're working the maggots, you can see Ben Williams just behind, as well as Lars Fischer back here. And that's how that sorts out.
Now Jimmy Gulliford will have to defend from Ben Williams down this straightaway. As you can see, a few drivers looking down the inside, and this is a battle for the lead. Schroer trying to get the position over an even. Wow, we have a 4-car battle. As you can see, Clemens also and Andy McEwen involved as well. As you can see now, Schroer looks like he's blinking a little bit, so maybe a few connection issues that just might throw the concentration of Clemens and McEwen off, but looks like they both keep their position. Now Clemens gonna force to go defensive. McEwen trying to look down the outside, now the inside into turn 1. He switches once again, Andrew. This is a really close battle for 3rd.
Yes, it is. This is from the point of view of Schroer. McEwen backs out around the outside of Copps. Now Clemens is going to have to defend a bit more. This will be down to Maggots. Adam Fox is sitting in behind. Lee Holmes there as well as Jason Cooper. It's side by side though for 3rd. McEwen heavy on the brakes. Trying to go around the outside of Maggots and Aintree. It's not going to work just yet. Goes wide, in fact, well off of the race course for a moment. Gets back on in that 4th position.
And that pack-off car extends all the way down into 7th place with Jason Cooper. So this is an extremely close battle for the lead. As you can see now, Lee Holmes looks like going down the inside, looking down the inside of Adam Fox. Will he get that position? They're nearly making contact, but it looks like he's going to stick side by side. Jason Cooper trying to look at any spot, any available spot on the racetrack for him to sneak his car in. Looks like not available at this time. Clemens and McEwen still battling. Looks like the number 4 Andrew got a way better run out of the final corner, and well, Lee Holmes and Fox are still battling.
James Neves still leads this race. Not a whole lot of contest there. Schroer has maintained with them, but hasn't made too many moves there. So that was close between Clemens and McEwen. They are both on podium in class, but not overall. And I think that certainly is a reason for them to race. They want to go podium overall as Adam Fox challenges back to the inside of Lee Holmes. Backs out there as he gets a little sideways up over the curbing and loses the 6th position now to Jason Cooper. And that's going to help Michael Steele reel them in. We could see a much longer train of cars here soon as they will draft down to Brooklands. Steele with all kinds of slipstream. And look at that ahead. We've got a battle. Clemens around the outside of Schroer. Now he's going to have the inside around Luffield. Oh, and contact there.
No.
Schroer came over into McEwen.
Came into McEwen, backed up the whole grid. As you can see now, Andrew, as you mentioned, that second pack, his back is bunched up once again. As you can see, number 4 returning. So that chance of victory, the overall victory, slips away from him. And, well, that's going to change the complexity of the remaining 7 minutes of the race.
Let's get another look at it here. This will be from well high in the sky. McEwen goes, almost made it 3. Shower backs out a little bit early to make sure he gets to the apex, and McEwen sees a hole to the inside for Luffield, and he fills it, and I just don't think Julian knew he was there.
Yeah, maybe by the time the spotter let him knew it was too late, the car was already dead, and unfortunately, even more contact afterwards, so maybe a little bit of a disagreement with them, but not a lot of damage, Andrew. Looks like both of them will be able to continue this race, obviously, way far back in the field.
It's a close battle now for your race lead, Clibbins and Neve. They've gapped Lee Holmes and company. This might be a 2-car race to the end. We'll see how it changes here as the Takata number 7 continues to lead in race number 2. Just a fantastic race out of him so far.
A great race, held up all the pressure from Shower. Now he needs to do the same with Clibbins. Clibbins already challenging him down into cops, trying to make it work on the outside. That's going to be really difficult, especially on low downforce cars. He's going to throw his Mazda Miata, trying to maybe get a better exit. Then the number 7 of James Neve, looks like that's not going to be close enough into Maggot. So Neve once again holding off that pressure. And Andrew, if you defend like Neve is doing, do you want that second pack to close back again, or do you want just to keep keep that safe buffer between you and them?
I think worst case, certainly you take the 2-car battle. You know, worst case at that point is you finish second as long as you keep things clean. So, yeah, you definitely take the 2-car battle over everybody else. Catching up is Jason Cooper. A big move there, as even Clibbins is going to make a move for the race lead. A lot going on, and look at that. We're back to a multi-car race up here. Neve gives up that lead spot now to the XI Energy number 13. Nick Clibbins finally in the race lead. We haven't said that very often this season. This is important for him.
Andrew, the number 13 of Nick Clibbins and the number 7 of James Neve have not yet won a race. But unfortunately for them, they have the 7-time winner of Jason Cooper right behind him. So they really need to either... 8-time, yeah, true, 8-time. So the worst car possible to be in 3rd place is Jason Cooper. And unfortunately for those two, they have the number 1 right behind them.
Cooper looks right. Now slots back in behind Neve for Maggots. They both run a little bit deep. That opens the door a little bit to Cooper to get a really good apex and get a run here for the backstretch. Where is Cooper going to go? Does he challenge? Yes, he's going to go left. That'll be the inside for Brooklands. Clibbins giving the draft here to Neve. That might shake things up as we work down to the corner. Cooper's fully to the inside of Neve, though. He takes that 2nd spot away.
Takes that 2nd spot away.
And here comes Holmes. Oh, man.
And Holmes gets the position. Obviously, he's going to be forced to the outside. They might make contact. Not quite. Lee Holmes. That was an absolutely beautiful move. And he's going to, get that position done on the exit of the final corner. Beautiful move for him. And now he finds himself 3rd place with a shot at that overall victory.
Good stuff there from Jason Cooper and from Lee Holmes into Brooklands. As now, it's Michael Seal into the 5th spot. He's quietly worked his way up. Adam Delmont is 6th. Marcelo Pagnan is up to 7th. Ben Williams is 8th. Adam Fox, Jamie Gulliford, once again, just a couple of, one Pro-Am and one amateur driver right at the back end of the top 10, holding down each of those lead spots. But it is a battle, it looks like, for 1st and 2nd here in Pro-Am. It's a 2nd apart right now. Gulliford has a gap to Donkin, but if Paul Donkin can make up some ground, that would be for your Pro-Am win, as this stuff gets exciting up front.
Looks like James Neve, unfortunately, is dropping off extra positions. The number 57 tried to make a move. As you can see now, Jason Cooper took the lead from Nick Clibbins, and that might just be it. As you can see, Lee Holmes once again trying to use the number 1, that move for his own personal advantage, and looks like he might just get a better exit than the number 13. So Lee Holmes doing a fantastic back end of the race, as well as Jason Cooper. So now the battle for 2nd, Andrew. Looks like the number 35 might just see a move down into the inside. There you go. He points his car. Will he outbrake the number 13? Yes, he will. And he gets that position.
Now going to bring the fight maybe to Jason Cooper, or does he have to get defensive? A little over 2.5 minutes to go. Nick Clibbins wants to challenge back for that 2nd spot. For a moment, look to the inside for Maggots and has to sit back now.
Closes the door beautifully on Nick Clibbins, and I'm sure if Nick is going to be happy with that. But Lee Holmes now 3.5 of a second behind Jason Cooper. 2 minutes and 20 to go. This could be his shot at an overall victory. As you can see now, James Neve trying to make his way back into the top 3. Not quite his race so far in 4th place.
And Lee Holmes has a win this season. It came back at Knock Hill, but certainly not the rest of the season that he would have wanted, as Delmont and Seal do battle just behind these guys. James Sharp there as well. No, it's Marcelo Pagan, rather. James Sharp is well down the order. In fact, he is back in the 20th position. Colin Sansom, Adam Mitchinson, looks like they're maybe doing a little bit of battle back here in the amateur class. They work out a Woodcote. Nose to tail, really. I mean, there is a little bit less battling in this race than we've seen previous races. Fiona Siddons and Andrew Jebson swap spots there, though. Siddons now into 18th. Jebson down into 19th, and they might swap spots again. Jebson the inside for Cops, trying to take that spot back away. No dice yet.
Fiona closed the door beautifully into turn 1. Took quite an aggressive line and holds that position for the time being. As we cut back to the front, Nick Clemens is now trying to make a move into second position, trying to take that away from Lee Holmes. As you can see, the gap has come down from second to first place, Andrew. Now it's 0.3 of a second, but on the straightaway, it was less than a tenth and a half.
We're about to get the white flag presented by Whiplash Simcams. And at this point, if you're Clemens, I think you want to push Lee Holmes up there, promote a battle. You don't want to get too caught up in this battle. You want to be able to go catch Jason Cooper on this final lap. You've got to push Lee Holmes, and now they all get separated up front. 1 lap to go, final time around in race 2, presented by Whiplash Simcams.
Nick Clibbins with that move that he tried to do on Lee Holmes lost a little bit of contact. As you can see, he gets it a little bit back on exits, but he's going to have to defend from James Neve. Lee Holmes, on the other hand, got a really good run out of Cobbs. Will he challenge down into Maggots? Not quite. The number 1 really has to be aware of his mirror right now. As you can see, the number 7 trying to defend from Adam Dalmont as well. This is a really close battle. As you can see, the number 35 goes a bit wide. That might be his chance for the overall victory, but he has a chance to hold off for second place.
They needed to be nose to tail here. Side by side is not going to help them. It's only going to allow Jason Cooper to drive away, and that's exactly what happens here. Brooklyn's ascend there from Lee Holmes, trying to hang on to second. He knows he's on the outside for Luffield, and that's so important, as Neve and Delmont have contact behind. Clibbins makes contact there with Holmes. James Neve going to try and power around the outside of Woodcote, maybe. They're all going to run out of the final corner, and that will do it. It is 9 wins now for Jason Cooper. Can you believe it?
Absolutely amazing job. After starting 15th, he makes his way back. Lee Holmes finishes in second place ahead of Nick Clibbins. James Neve in fourth place ahead of Adam Dalman. Michael Seal, Marcelo Pagan, Ben Williams, Adam Fox, and James Gulliford are top 10, with Adam Fox and Gulliford both winning their respective classes.
Some really important drivers fall way back here in this race. Duncan Cope, Casper DeCourt finishes 22nd. James Clark 21st. James Sharp 20th. Andy McEwen fell back to 16th. Tom Griffith is going to finish 28th spot in this race. Look at the damage on his car.
That's a lot of damage for the number 11. Unfortunate race number 2 for him. I bet he's going to be hoping for a full invert, Andrew.
Yeah, he will, considering our other inverts don't go as high as 28th. So that is... yeah, that's a problem there for Tom Griffiths. We'll go ahead and get that invert for the second time today, and this will be for race number 3, of course. It was 15 for race number 2. It might be 15 again, is it? Or is it 21? It's 21, 20. I think. It stops.
Oh, and the Spixel again.
Oh my gosh, we gotta do this whole thing again. It is... We go to results here. We can see 21. A 21 car invert. I keep hitting the wrong things. There we go. 21 car invert. Just barely.
Just barely. And with that, the unofficial race results are as follows. Jason Cooper, as we mentioned, now an 8-time winner in first place. 9-time winner. Wow, I'm getting confused. There are too many wins, Andrew. We need to reset that.
He's won the last 3 races now. And that's going back to that's going back to Snetterton, race number 4, where he won 2 races last week.
That's absolutely insane. He might just be on for his best round yet. And well, we're only halfway through and he won both races, so insane job for him. Lee Holmes finishes in second place ahead of Nick Clemens. James Neve holds off for fourth place ahead of Adam Dalman. Michael Seal in sixth place. Marcelo Pagnan in seventh. Ben Williams in eighth place. Our amateur winner is going to be Adam Fox in ninth place ahead of our Pro-Am victor of Jamie Gulliford in 10th place.
11th goes the way of Paul Donkin, and you can see that gap didn't really ever narrow up. In fact, it expanded all the way up to 3 seconds for Jamie Gulliford's Pro-Am win. Lars Fischer takes 12th. It's Douglas Stewart there in 13th. Colin Sansom, Adam Mitchinson wrap up your top 15. Then it's Andy McEwen in 16th. Craig Schill 17th. Andrew Jebsen 18th. Fiona Siddons hangs on for a top 20. And James Sharp just barely sneaks through and will now start second for race number 3, because starting first in race number 3 is
James Clark. There we go. James Clark is going to have the pole position for race number 3. He's going to hope to keep that position until the end of the race. And Casper the Court, 3 seconds away from being pole sitter for race number 3. Unfortunately, race number 2 did not go his way. Duncan Cope in 23rd place is going to be finishing that position. Michael Lees in 24th. Julian Schroer in 25th. Liam Silkstone in 26th, ahead of Mark Oliver in 27th. Tom Griffiths, as we mentioned on the final lap of the race, is going to be finished off in 28th. Thor Tulo, 3 laps down in 29th. And Glenn Humberstone Andrew, 13 laps down, unfortunately for him, in 30th place.
Yeah, it's always tough at a 13-lap race to finish 13 laps down, but sometimes it does happen when you have issues right off the start, and that is the case then for Glenn Humberstone. Does not complete that first lap. 13 laps down. That's always a tough one. That is race number 2 in the books. We really thank you big time for being here this evening at Pit Stop TV, this afternoon, morning, maybe, night, maybe, dead of the night, wherever you're watching from. It's always a lot of fun joining these British sim racers for some action, and we certainly appreciate our partners that allow us to do so here at Pit Stop TV. Tucson Sound Art, Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine, Whiplash Media, Whiplash Simcams, and BAM Racing Videos, doing a whole lot for us here at Pit Stop TV. And before we go to break here, I want to give a big shout out, as usual, to my main man in the booth for this series, JP Costa, always being here and helping accentuate the coverage big time. We're going to head out to intermission once more. We are halfway through the day as the championship looms for these drivers, and Jason Cooper is on fire at just the right time. 9 wins now on this season. That's the last 3 in a row, dating back to last week at Snetterton even. Can he go for 4 in a row? Third on the day? We'll see here in race number 3. Don't go anywhere.
Sound Art introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home by combining the best of two products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. Sound Art ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speakers.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Sound Art introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home by combining the best of two products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. Sound Art ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
Welcome back to the virtual Silverstone circuit, especially on this national course. Things have been fun so far today, JP. They aren't quite as sunny and bright as they look in the B-roll, the promotional footage here, but it is still a good-looking racetrack as we get ready for race number 3 of round number 7. It's been a fun one. I think we've had some great racing. I think this is definitely proving its place in the schedule.
Absolutely, the long straightaways, the small corners, not a lot of heavy braking zones definitely have their value and are definitely helping a lot of the racing, especially when you consider the front pack is always close together and anyone essentially in the top 20 could come out with a race victory. I absolutely love it.
These are the standings coming into today's racing. This is before any cars got on track today, and they've already changed quite a bit. Andy McEwen is now 47 points behind Jason Cooper, and that's before the drop weeks are enabled. So, there will be a couple of drop races for these guys that is only going to, I think, increase that gap. Jason Cooper has been insane, and you can add 2 more stars next to that name because he's now got 9 wins and will now be inverted all the way down to 21st starting spot. And what that does is gives us a pole sitter of James Clark, outside pole sitter of, or in this case, just right side pole sitter of James Sharp. So it's James Clark, then James Sharp. Fiona Siddons starts 3rd. Andrew Jepson starts from 4th. Then it's Craig Schill, Andy McEwen, Adam Mitchinson, Colin Sansom, Douglas Stewart, and Lars Fisher, your top 10 for race number 3, as we get ready to go racing for 15 more minutes, 13 more laps at the very short Silverstone National Course. I've really enjoyed this, and I prefer this to the Grand Prix circuit, certainly. I always enjoy these shorter courses that are a little more fun and a little different for these guys as well. I'm sure they've got plenty of laps on the big Silverstone, but this is different. As we get ready to go, red lights are on, green lights on the way, and green lights are on. Green flag. Wait for it. There we go. Finally, green flag. They held out on me. I was getting ready. I thought I had the timing down. Green flag now in race number 3. You can see it's gotten a whole lot darker. That light just, it sweeps across the racetrack because it illuminates the headlights of each of these cars. They headed now into maggots. We've got 2, 3 wide in contact. Fiona Siddons hits James Clark, and there's a spin.
There's a spin. It looks like, even more contact with those. Look at that sky.
And McEwen.
It looks like, no, even more problems for, the points leader when he came into this round. So really not his round. As you can see, the rest of the field still battling. Andrew, that's a lot of cars going side by side. As you can see, now we cut into Brooklyn's nearly going 3 wide. As you can see, there's Ben Williams, of your teammate Fiona Siddons now up into 2nd place. A lot has happened in lap number 1.
And that is Colin Sansom in the year 1 colors. Andy McEwen has been spun off. Ben Williams goes for a slide. He's into the dirt. Catches that car, but out front, Andrew Jepson has got 2 seconds after 1 lap.
That's an incredible, and he could really capitalize if he keeps the car pointed the right direction, hit his marks, and he could be within a shot of the overall victory. Obviously, Andrew, only a minute and a half in, so really early to tell. As you can see, the whole top 4 of Pro-Am drivers, the 2nd through 4th as Pro-Am drivers, 5th and 6th Pro-Am, and you can see the battles keep on going. That's Paul Donkin trying to go around the outside of Douglas Stewart, and he just fell through a little bit, losing a bit of pace.
Look at this view. Oh, Fiona Siddons! My goodness, a big hit, and that is Douglas Stewart is destroyed. He's going to come slowly to Brooklands and try to continue on the course, but that left front is collapsed on itself. I'm surprised he's still rolling. He might even ask for a penalty to be cleared. Nope, never mind. There he goes.
Oh, there we go.
As soon as it looked okay, that car folds over on itself and he's done. And let's get a look back. Where's Fiona Siddons in all of this? She now comes through the corner. What has just happened? 2 laps in a row, big contact with Fiona at the center of it. We'll first try and get a look at lap 1 with Fiona Siddons. And then we'll try and get up to whatever happened a little bit later on. So this will be into maggots. Watch the red fendered, white hood, white door, and white trunk lid with the pink roll bars. That's Fiona Siddons. 3 wide there with the car and moves over a little bit into Andy McEwen, and then straight lines, I will say, into James Clark, and I think that was Craig Schill. Then a little bit wide, and that's all just lap 1, getting a little bit spooked, I think. There was the contact with, it looks like, Sharp and McEwen. That sends McEwen spinning, and then a lap later, there's an issue now with Fiona Siddons. Again, we'll rejoin, and it looks very similar to where you had a year 1 car to her right a lap ago, but it's a different year 1 car. That's Colin Sansom this time, with Douglas Stewart behind. This will be another good look at things.
As you can see, all 3 of them heading into maggots. They keep it clean through the first part. As you can see, Paul Donkin trying to make a move. Fiona Siddons sticks to the outside. They all give themselves room. As you can see, just gets loose. And
she crossed herself up big.
Yeah, that was just weight shifting of the car and just got lost. And unfortunately, contact. And that absolutely destroyed. Was that Stewart, as you mentioned?
Yeah. I think Fiona's car was okay. She continues on, but certainly well off the pace after all of that. And we'll go ahead and rejoin some of these battles as best as we can. Let's start towards the rear. Humberstone and Neve. Neve, I think, should have just won that previous race. Was so good through it all, and unfortunately gave it up there towards the end. And it gets sent back, it looks like, through some incident. Well, certainly through the invert, and maybe some incident here at the start of race number 3. Let's move up a little ways. Thortolo just ahead of Jamie Gulliford now. That's for 16th on the racetrack. And James Clark, who had that contact with Fiona Siddons on lap 1 at Maggots, is now in 15th. Tom Griffith's there in 14th, and we continue to work on forward. Colin Sansom has dropped now down to the 12th position behind Lee Holmes and Casper DeCourt as they do battle nose to tail. And if you continue working forward, you'll find drivers back in the top 10, including this battle for second place, because Jebsen has checked out by over 2 seconds.
That's a great pace for him. Obviously, I feel these battles have allowed him to increase that gap. As you can see now, battle for third between Delmont and Mitchison. Delmont clears Mitchison for Maggots and Aintree, so he's going to stick with that third place. But the problem is for Jebsen, Andrew, he has Marcelo Paganum and Adam Delmont behind him, so he really needs to pick up the pace, and hopefully for him, Marcelo and Adam start battling with one another.
Yeah, he's going to try and use every bit of the 10 minutes remaining to bleed as little time as possible. Let's fall back and see a battle now further inside the top 10. Ben Williams up the inside of Adam Fox, and now Nick Clibbins up the inside of Paul Donkin. Now Donkin will be on the defensive from Ben Williams, and Casper DeCourt's going to try and go up here and pass them all. He really needs the points today, actually. No, that's not even Casper. That's Lars Fischer right on the back end of Adam Fox in 9th.
Yeah, Lars Fischer looking down the inside of Adam Fox and nearly making contact. The number 96 driver forcing essentially the number 966 to his outside. Gets that position, is going to clear, but looks like Adam Fox got a better run. Can Lars Fischer clear him by the time of Maggots? Yes, he can. That's going to be really close unless Adam Fox tries to go down the inside of Aintree. Not quite.
Oh, he hit
contact him. But they both keep pointing in the right direction, which is the important part. Lars Fischer goes a bit wide. That's going to compromise his line. And, well, Adam Fox gets that position back.
Ben Williams now maybe looking on Paul Donkin for a moment as Fischer stays to the inside of Fox. Williams will go to the inside of Donkin. This is Brooklands.
Goes down the inside, is going to try to force the number 529 wide. The Red Bull livery MX-5 is still on the inside. He's going to have a bit better run, but, well, Ben Williams on the outside was just going to carry a bit more speed. They almost made contact, and Ben essentially pushed Paul Donkin out of the corner. As you can see, even a battle for James Neve for the bottom end of the top 10, for the top 20, and, well, he clears that position.
Great battles through and through. Sansom and Clark, they were mixing things around as well. That was for 14th and 15th. Griffith's going to follow Silverstone, and here we go. Lee Holmes and, is that Lee? That is Lee Holmes. Where is, okay, yeah, he is right here with Casper DeCourt. I got threw off for a moment. That is for 10th and 11th place on the racetrack as Liam Silverstone closes in. And if you look towards the front, yeah, that gap is already narrowing quite a bit. I thought this would be a racetrack where you'd be able to stay out front if you were that race leader by a large margin, but I don't think that's the case. Less than a second now for Pagden.
As a second, that's really closing. Adam Delmont really closed up on Marcelo Pagden as well, so hopefully for Andrew Jebsen, they start battling amongst each other to
they're
allow
working
him
together here.
Yeah, so they probably, they're doing the big brain move, I guess you could say, to close in that gap, and hopefully both of them can tackle the number 22 and then battle amongst themselves to see who's going to come out on top. But that gap, Andrew, really coming down now. It was 9/10 of a second coming to the back straight. Now it's less than 6.
Closing in even more, now a half second. And here in a moment, they'll be to where they can slipstream and they can really start punching into that gap. And, oh, maybe they are going to battle a little bit. That was Maggots, or, well, into Maggots. Oh, my goodness, look at the send. And at this point, yeah, they're there.
Yeah, Marcelo Pagden really pushing his machine right now. As you can see, the number 77 just behind him. This is the closest, I guess, the leader has been to second place. And as you can see, Jebsen just using each and every single part of the racetrack to cut off that draft from the number 75 of Marcelo Pagden. But, well, look at that. Lines of Andrew Jebsen are a bit wider than Marcelo Pagden, and Marcelo just utilizing that pressure to just build, and that's allowing even Nick Clibbins to get back on the action, Andrew.
It would be Clibbins joining, then maybe Mitchinson, Williams, Donkin, Fisher, Fox, DeCourt. I wouldn't be surprised if this top 10 actually backs itself up to each other here, as Marcelo Pagnan's going to go up the inside for Copse. Delmont stays behind Jebsen here, and Jebsen offline, maybe some contact even as well. He's going to lose that lead.
Maybe losing even second place. He's going to go side by side with Adam Delmont into Maggots, and it looks like Delmont with the inside line might just have the advantage, nearly making contact with those. But look at that, Jebsen really fighting back, gets pushed off wide. Now who will Marcelo give the slipstream to? Well, it doesn't really matter because Delmont really cleared the number 22, but might we have payback? No, he helps him.
Jebsen pushing the 77 of Delmont. Delmont right down to the apex there of Brooklands. Now for Luffield. You want to hug that black and white curbing on the inside as best as you can while carrying as much momentum as you can right back out to this side of the curbing and the AstroTurf. And Pagnan has just been so good at it. I don't know what he's brought to the race today, but I mean, he's really got something in that 21 car.
He's doing really well. His race pace is absolutely phenomenal, and that's exactly what he needed, especially because the number one is out of the equation on this race. At least he's down into 22nd place. So the battle is between these guys right here. Clibbins has really joined in the fight, as you can see now. Delmont trying to make it work on the outside of Aintree. Can he get that car? Can he get a bumper?
Ooh,
Marcelo's
contact.
gonna push him really wide. A bit of contact, as Andrew mentioned. And while Marcelo holds the lead for now, but this battle, Andrew, is definitely not going away anytime soon.
Jebsen gonna have a run. Clibbins is going to side with his teammate here. Oh boy, this is going to get fun here. Delmont keeps that spot right on the apex there of Brooklands. Keeps second. Jebsen third. And now it's a side-by-side battle for third. Pagnan going to lead Delmont out of Luffield and will race back to the line. This will be 4 laps to go when we get there.
4 laps to go. Marcelo Pagnan needs to do what he is doing. Just needs to repeat it lap after lap. Now we have a battle for the amateur win on the overall top 10. As you can see, Mitchinson trying to hold off Adam Fox. They're both in 7th and 8th place respectively. So this is a really interesting battle, Andrew, for the amateur class. And well, the point standings could really shake up if Mitchinson cannot hold off the lead.
And it's Lars Fischer interjecting himself within this battle as well. Going to mix things up and split those two up. That's going to help Mitchinson but hurt Fox. You never want to have interference in these battles. I know you've got a race interclass, but what just happened? Adam Fox
overcorrected. Oh my god.
That wheel is still turned to the left. That looks like a mechanical failure. Well, a hardware failure. That wheel is still cranked all the way to the left.
Oh wow, that's so unfortunate.
Wow.
Oh no. Wow, indeed.
That was a big hit. The way he came back over. We'll rejoin. Well, we'll get these guys for a replay, of course, and watch that black and white and orange number 966 following the, I guess, black and white and orange number 920. But it's the second of the 2 black and white and orange cars. Dabbing the brakes there for Maggots. Lars Fischer around the outside.
Well, as you can see.
Adam Fox right here just turns left very quickly.
Oh, and unfortunately, was that Glenn Humberstone?
That was Lee Holmes.
Oh, fortunate for him as well.
At least it should have been Lee. And yeah, that was definitely Lee Holmes that got that contact. And Casper DeCourt, I think, got a piece of that. But we'll keep racing. That doesn't stop the race here as we go on to, well, this is 3 laps to go, coming to 2. Marcelo Pagnan leading, Adam Delmont second. This is in the Brooklands.
Marcelo had to go defensive. That's going to compromise a little bit of his line. Not too much to allow. As you can see now, Delmont trying to go a little bit wider to cut back into the apex, trying to get a better run, allowing Clibbins to just get close enough. Now the number 77 might just have a better run than the number 75. That might just allow him to go down the inside of turn 1, but looks like it's not close enough. Either way, Marcelo Pagnan goes defensive. Andrew, 2 laps to go. Everything can still happen.
Into Copse. Jebsen is still in this fight. How does the 22 play into all of this? Is Nick Clibbins going to draft up to these 2 side by side? Marcelo Pagnan and Adam Delmont. Marcelo comes all the way over, almost makes contact. Now straight lines to the first apex. Has to stop that car there on the curbing and gets back out of the corner. Clibbins has a clear shot on the right side, but it's not going to be fast enough to get side by side with these guys just yet. Delmont back on the right now. This will be the outside for Brooklands, but the inside for left field if he can stay there.
It's going to be really hard for him to stick on the outside unless he's brave. As you can see,
he's got
both
it.
of them side by side might just have it. Can Pagan close that door? No, he cannot. He's going to go really wide. That's going to open the door to Clibbins to maybe snatch a bit of contact. That's going to create a gap that Adam Delmont needed on the final lap as they entered the final lap of the race. As you can see, even Jepson getting in on the action, trying to sneak up into third place, but he's going to be forced to the outside line. Andrew, Adam Delmont might just have it.
Oh, it's not over yet. There is no way this is over yet. Side by side for third. Clibbins on the inside. Jepson outside. They got to get back nose to tail and draft back up to Marcelo Pagnan and Adam Delmont because Pagnan will be there as they get into Brooklyn, certainly, and there might be contact this time through. Still side by side for third. Clibbins on the inside here for Maggots and Aintree. It is the white flag presented by Whiplash Simcams in race number 3 here of round number 7. In the BSR, that's British Sim Racers Trophy Tuesday MX-5s. Marcelo Pagnan's going to be there. Does he take it to the inside? Not yet. He's a little too far back, but he'll be there for Luffield. Is there a challenge late here for Marcelo Pagnan to get back there for the race win? Or can Adam Delmont hang on? The final apex there. Out of Luffield, it's all Adam Delmont out front. Marcelo Pagnan second is not going to be able to do anything about it. And to the line, it's finally another race win for Cars 77.
And unfortunately, Marcelo Pagnan just less than 0.2 of a second in second place. Nick Clibbins holds off Jepson for third place. Ben Williams going to be finished off in 5th place ahead of Lars Fischer. Paul Donkin's going to win the Pro-Am class ahead of Tom Griffiths. And Leon Silkstone in 9th place ahead of the number 5 of Casper de Kort. Mitchelson is going to win the amateur class. And Andrew, that was a fantastic night race we just had in Silverstone.
And it's going to get darker. Adam Delmont back in victory lane for the first time since race 1 at Spa. Of course, that was round number 3. So, that was race number, 27. He has not won since race 9. It had been 18 races.
Wow.
But he gets a third. He's the first driver to third that is not Jason Cooper as the final car comes across the line. That was Craig Schill. So Adam Delmont makes it 3 wins on the season. Adam Mitchinson will hang on for the win in amateur. Adam Fox falls down the order after, of course, his hardware failure. Your Pro-Am victor, that is Paul Donkin. So we can go ahead and get our invert once more, get this fired up. And for the final time today, we will take an invert spin between races. 15, then 21. What's it going to be? Is it 15 again? Right on the line again, and it's 15. A very unoriginal few spins today. Very interesting there. 15, 21, and 15 once again. And we will invert your top, well, obviously your top 15, but that will invert Thor Tullo onto pole. Jamie Gulliford second. We'll get our full rundown of unofficial race results for race number 3 here.
As you can see, Adam Delmont with the second to last lap overtake over Marcelo Pagnan wins. Marcelo is going to hold off, well, it's going to, unfortunately for him, finish in second place. Nick Clibbins in third place, held off the late challenge of Andrew Jepson. Ben Williams in 5th place, finishes ahead of Lars Fischer. Paul Donkin in his 529 Red Bull machine is going to be finished off in 7th and winning his Pro-Am class. Tom Griffiths in 8th place ahead of Liam Silkstone, the 2nd place of the Pro-Am class. And Casper de Kort is going to be finished off in 10th place.
Finishing in the 11th position in race number 3, that goes the way of James Clark in the number 20. The 920, though, finishes 12th, and that is your amateur winner, just ahead of Andy McEwen, who just sent me a message on Discord. And yeah, his luck, it's not been there tonight. He drops all the way to 13th in that race. You're going to have those off weeks sometimes, buddy, and very unfortunately. Jamie Gulliford will finish 14th in that race. Thortolo 15th will be your new pole sitter. So, Andy, your luck is at least going to come your way for the start of race number 4 because you're starting 3rd. Jamie Gulliford will start 2nd. Thortolo will start in 1st. James Neve just misses out on it, and honestly, that's unfortunate. That is actually a heartbreaker. James Neve has been so good today. Maybe should have won race number 2, but didn't, unfortunately. And now we'll just miss out on that invert. Colin Sansom will start from 17th because that's where he just finished. Julian Schroer 18th, Glenn Humberstone 19th, and Jason Cooper. That's your big storyline here. Only gets back into the top 20. How?
He had to be involved in an incident because he dropped to 22nd at least. Well, just came back 2 places, so a really odd race from the number 1 driver. Duncan Cope is going to be finished off in 21st place ahead of Lee Holmes. Michael Sealing 23rd ahead of Fiona Siddons and Craig Schilling 25th. Those are your lead lap drivers. And Adam Fox is going to be finishing 3 laps down in 26th. Michael Lees in 27th, 8 laps down. Mark Oliver, unfortunately, 11 laps down with James Sharp in 29th. And Douglas Stewart, our final driver, 12 laps down, unfortunately, in 30th place.
And all 30 cars have been here for all 3 races so far. We do like that retention, as it looks like we got a couple of drivers that want to speak to you, JP. You're a popular guy. Let's begin with race winner Adam Delmont for the first time in 18 races.
Adam, first things first, how does it feel to be back in victory lane?
Oh, it feels good, guys. It seems to have been a bit of a drought lately. Yeah, no, it feels good. It was a bloody good race. It was a hard race, but no, I enjoyed that one.
And how difficult was it battling Marcelo Paganin? Obviously, early on in the race, we were, well, I guess we guessed, and that you guys were working together to close in the gap to Andrew Jepson?
Yeah, I had no interest in trying to go for a move early on. I knew we had a gap to close down. You know, we start tripping up over each other. People catch us. First gets away, it's all over. So it was just a case of duke it out at the end. I just sat patiently till last, I'd say maybe 3 laps, and I just started probing and putting my car in places just to see where I could maybe get a potential run. As you probably saw, I kept dabbling down the left into the right-hander, but he kept covering it off really well. So I just chipped away and saw it open up in front of me and kept the hammer down and went for it.
Yeah, that was an absolutely amazing move. That was Formula 1 style. And obviously, you had that move lined up quite a bit. How difficult it is to line up and overtake a driver with similar pace like Marcelo?
It's hard. It's really hard. I mean, tonight's been, I think I've started near the back nearly every race. Race 1 got up to near top 10, but then me and Adam came together. Race 2, I think I got 18 spots in race 2, so I know the pace is there tonight. I've felt really quick all night, but because I've been starting at the back, I've just not really been able to get through. And I think that race I started P17 to the win. So yeah, no, I've done some real. I've actually been driving tonight thinking, you know, when you do a move on someone and you can't help but drive off with a smug look on your face.
Absolutely, those are the best moves. And obviously, I'm gonna wish you, well, a happy concentration, and hopefully you can repeat your feat on race number 4.
Yep, thank you very much, guys.
That is Adam Delmont with the race win there overall and in pro. And we'll move on down the line actually to one of his teammates in Liam Silkstone, but in the Pro-Am class. Liam, well, you know, you called your shot back at Daytona. You were going to win a race. When's that going to happen?
I don't know. I think it's your fault that I haven't won one yet, to be fair.
We keep bringing it up. You know what? That makes sense. I can't argue with that logic. It's all right, fair enough. So Silverstone Nationals today, obviously, it's not the big Grand Prix layout. How does that change things up for a driver getting prepared for this race?
So what it was, we did the race last time on Tuesday, which is every Tuesday, well done. So jumped out of that, I've got like proper practice, because I had a bad round at SNET. I even chat with you guys and you haven't had a good week. I went, I know, let's bounce back. So I did a lot of practice Wednesday, Thursday. I've got a bit unlucky race 1 and 2, but me and Tom worked together, even though he's not my teammate, which is quite funny, and got to the front. So I'm quite happy with the results so far. I had a baby sulk in race 2. He's like, I just want to just get the points, So did me drive through, got the points, but I'm getting there.
So the races today certainly have been chaotic. The shorter track obviously has shown that it's a bit chaotic, but it's not that kind of knock hill or Brands Indy chaotic. How do you navigate it, especially with these long straightaways?
Well, that's the problem, because with the knock hill, there is straights. Knockhill, you got the main straight and then the final corner, but there's a lot of twisty bits. So for like your Jason Coopers, your Delmont, Andy McEwen, the people that have the fast boys, they're quick through the corners. So what's helping me today is I can just sit in the toe of the car in front and just pull me through. I did some practice, so I'm not doing too bad, but the toe really helps you on this track.
And so Brands Grand Prix, the full Brands Hatch course next week, then Bathurst for the final week. How do you think you fare up, especially when you're fighting so closely for this Pro-Am championship?
Oh, so yeah, I'll try and get some practice in tomorrow for Brands. It's like I don't want to do too far in front. Bathurst will be keep it on the track, but for Brands Hatch, it's I need to work, sit in the toe. That's probably going to be around about the same. Is just follow the car in front and just get as many points as I can.
Well, there you have it. Liam Silkstone getting ready for race number 4, having a word with us. Buddy, we appreciate your time. Congratulations on, I think, missing a lot of the crashes today so far, and hopefully you miss a few more in race 4, and best of luck to you, buddy.
I'm going to say I hit them all in race 1 and 2, so
Have you?
I'll hit a few more in race 4. Yeah, I had a car on top of me in race 1 while I was in the middle of a phone call. So
geez.
That was pretty fun.
You know, in race 1 especially, it seemed like there was a lot of crashes in the mid-race. Race 2 seemed like it all happened towards the start. I'm sure they're going to throw things at it. It's going to be a curveball or 5 here in race 4. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, don't crash while on a phone call this time. How about that?
Yeah, well, I'll try my best. It's when you pull up on the grid and someone rings you and you're just like, that could have waited until the morning. I'm trying to race right now. So I'll be telling them when I get to work. I'll be showing the live stream back just to prove it.
Well, there you go. Always let Liam race. I kind of like let the Wookiee win. Let Liam race.
Just let me do what I want to do.
Best of luck to you here, buddy. Don't crash.
Thank you. Oh, well, that's...
Oh, I moved him right as he was talking there. Well, yeah, hopefully Liam doesn't crash here in this 4th race. Didn't mean to move him right there in the middle, but we do have, obviously, cars back on track here. While we will take a step aside, because it really helps us to get a quick drink of water, get re-prepped, because, man, this stuff is crazy. We're going to leave the nice pictures up for you, leave the nice race cars up for you, and we'll be right back here in just a few moments. Well, usually I would say welcome back, but we haven't gone anywhere this time. So welcome back to our voices, I suppose, as warm-up gets well underway for race number 4. Weather conditions. Let's see how those are doing. It's cooled down a little bit, but it's not cooled down very much here, JP. It's staying just under 70 degrees Fahrenheit, which is, what, about 20 degrees, 21 degrees? No, a little bit cooler than that. What is that in Celsius?
It's 22, I think.
I think that was for 77 earlier. No, that was for 70. So 69 degrees is 20.5. So I guess that might have been for 77 earlier. I don't know, man. you know, we talked about it Thursday, that I'm very much under the weather. Kind of topical. Yeah, dude, it's kicking me in the butt this week. But, yeah, brain fade is a real thing, even just when you're not racing. It's very real. But 69 degrees is 20.5, so at 68.9, it's, you know, 20.5 degrees, if you will. I can do the exact math. 68.9 is, if I hit the decimal and not the slash, it's exactly 20.5 degrees, actually. So not too bad there. And 70 degrees Fahrenheit on the track is only another degree or so higher. I guess 2 degrees probably, or something. Numbers, math, it all works out. But we've got some 30 cars again for race number 4, and the action has been electric. I think that's fair to say so far.
Absolutely, the action has been absolutely fantastic throughout the field. Something we, I guess, kind of expect already from these guys, but, you know, week in and week out, I always get impressed of how good the racing is. You know, obviously a few mistakes here and there, but, well, it just keeps on being great. And it keeps, I guess, our jaws on the floor, Andrew. Some moves that we see some drivers do, they're absolutely fantastic.
And I'm certainly continuously thankful for the amount of support from this series. You know, we come in and we didn't know what to expect at first. And obviously, the racing has been fantastic and it's helped us a lot, but we didn't know what to expect with the British Sim Racers, and I don't think they knew exactly what to expect with us. But I think we've found a really good partnership here, and it's been a lot of fun for this season, and hopefully continues on for so many more. And you know, it's also an interesting way to spend my middays on Tuesdays and Thursdays. As an American sim racing broadcaster, I usually have those 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock starts, and, you know, we're not done until 11 or, you know, 12 or even 1 o'clock sometimes. This change of pace, where it's this midday broadcast, is really cool. Now, I thought I was going to have a January of, you know, just get a show done in the midday and then have all night to party, but it didn't happen with the Nork iRacing series coming back in, but it's still been a lot of fun. Having these midday broadcasts, and certainly a change of pace, and meeting all of these new people, at least virtually, getting to talk to everybody has been a lot of fun, and learn some personalities. And there's a lot of really good people, a lot of really, really good people within this British Sim Racer group. Everybody who makes things happen, as far as Roger Morton, who initially contacted us, and Michael Seal, and Ben Sharp, and of course Andy McEwen, and Kip Stevens, and so many other people here who make a lot of great things happen with BSR. They all do a lot of hard work. They all make a lot of great things happen, and it's certainly an honor to be here for these BSR races. We've got one more of them, in fact, this afternoon for round number 7 of 9 for Trophy Tuesdays. BSRTC returns to us later this week from Silverstone National. Oh, that's this place right here, the same exact track that we're already on, so you already get a bit of a preview of what to expect. Red lights are on. We've got 13 more laps to go after it. Let's get it started. Waiting on the green lights, and green lights are on. Green flag is out. Oh, one car way out there already. That was Andy McEwen already way out there. Through Maggots and Aintree, Thor Tullo is your race leader. Oh, we've got crashing in the back somewhere. Cars with contact, Mark Oliver and Michael Lease in trouble there out of Aintree. Up front, Thor Tullo leads us into Brooklands for the first time.
He retains the lead over the first lap, as you can see, extra battling throughout the few drivers going side by side as we head into Brooklyn now. Love field, as you can see, the whole field behaving on the last part of the lap. This is only lap 1, just the first of 14 or 13 laps. So a really quite short race, Andrew, but lots of action still yet to happen.
I do love these shots, these static shots along the paddock, watching these guys going by the start-finish line. And now through Cops, it is very much the 44 car out front. We'll bring that ticker up for you. You can see where everybody is sorted out. How about Casper de Court taking advantage of this starting spot? He's up into third.
He definitely wants to get his win once again, to get another victory for him. Obviously, today has not been his day. Not a lot of luck in the championship, Andrew, but that could all change on this race. As you can see, Thor Tulo now coming under pressure from not one but two cars. As you can see now, Casper the Court helping Jamie Gulliford to go to the lead. As you can see, Jamie really deep on the braking to maintain the lead. Casper the Court trying to follow him on the inside line. Now into Lovefield, going to be forced to the outside, and Thor might just have to yield that position.
Now, this is something I had glossed over at first, but when Jason Cooper won that first race today, that was the first time that anybody had won back-to-back races this season, and he went for a three-peat. Unfortunately, couldn't get it done in the third race of the day. We'll see if he can drive from 18th on forward. Let's go ahead and take his onboard and see what he's seeing as he rumbles along in that 18th position, just behind Colin Sansom, who's doing battle, it looks like, with James Neve and Andy Jebsen ahead. Oh, this looks like a lot of mayhem in the waiting.
Looks like, yeah, exactly, a lot of mayhem in the waiting, but he'll definitely navigate cautiously through it. As you can see, taking a little bit of an easy approach, trying to spot any openings, trying to get the best exit possible. It looks like he might just have done, trying to use those battles ahead of him, Andrew, to allow the rest of the field to come back to him and maybe snatch a few extra positions.
Where can he put himself after this second lap? No, this third lap, rather. As Jebsen's out wide in Brooklands, but that's still the better line for Luffield. One car well out, two cars well out in the turf. Nick Cliven's out there. Lars Fischer's in this as well. Sansom alongside now of Cooper. It is very clearly hard to pass. This is not one of those tracks like Knock Hill or even Snetterton last week where you can make quick work of this field and get through the field, but it seems like it's very, very hard to pass. Yes, you can make up time, but it's a matter of getting past somebody because of how much straightaway there is here and certainly how fast this place is. Look at that. I mean, it's so hard to make up actual time on anybody.
And when you do, this track really allows drivers to go side by side throughout a whole lap and keep doing it for 15 minutes. So you really have to be brave on the braking and really try to make as many spots as you can and, utilize battling ahead of you to make those positions. And something that I just spotted, Andrew, we had a change for the lead. Casper the Court now leading, and Jamie Gulliford really dropped off into 4th place.
And Tom Griffiths has brought Andy McEwen up. They are 2nd and 3rd. McEwen now goes to the inside and takes that 2nd spot away. So trying to turn the luck around as Andy McEwen came in today points leader. He's not going to leave that way.
Trying absolutely everything he can to maybe snatch a victory on race number 4. Trying to get some of those points that he lost on those first 3 races back. Utilizing the fact that Jason Cooper is still outside of the top 15, but he's going to have to battle not only Casper the Court, but also Tom Griffiths just behind him, but looks like they're helping each other.
Yeah, a little bit of bump drafting there between Griffiths and McEwen. They know they've got a common enemy right now, and that's the 5-star Motorsport number 5 car of Casper the Court. They want to both catch him and go racing with Casper here. Jamie Gulliford sits behind, still leading in Pro-Am. Liam Silkstone, hey, he's got a chance here. A pretty good starting spot. Going to put him in a nice little opportunity here. We talked with him in that break. He started 7th. He's got an extra spot up to 6th. He's only got to make up 1 spot, and he will be in a battle officially for your race win. Well, race lead, at least for now, in Pro-Am.
Absolutely. He only has 1 car between him and his closest class competition. And Andy McEwen took the lead of the race, Andrew, as they went into Brooklyn. So the number 4 now leading the number 5. Tom Griffiths trying to use everything he can to maybe get that position. So we're going to have a battle for the lead, but this is exactly what Andy McEwen needs for his championship charge.
Andrew Jebsen came in earlier and became the best Andrew in the series, at least for that race that he led in race number 2. Certainly the best Andrew on the day, and McEwen is trying to turn that one back around. I know I don't get to stand in that competition, so it's got to go one of these two guys' ways as Andy McEwen leads that lap, goes purple as well. He's already trying to build up a bit of a gap here to Casper the Court.
Really hard to build up a gap on this racetrack. That slipstream just helps a lot. And look at the number 5 really getting really close. And when you're that close, Andrew, the slipstream is not going to help you get that slingshot effect, but it will definitely help you build a bit of speed. And looks like the number 5 has no interest whatsoever in taking the lead for the time being, so he does not want track position. He maybe just wants to break away from Tom Griffiths right behind him.
It's like Daytona. You want a bump draft. It's too early to fight. Side by side, though, Thor Tullo and Liam Silkstone, actually. So Liam is definitely on the initiative here. He wants to go race Jamie Gulliford. You can see everybody else sweeping out of left field now through Woodcote. Some battles further back. Marcelo Pagnan is back here. He's in 11th trying to race with Paul Donkin. Getting blocked down to the inside a little bit. Defending there is Donkin. And maybe some contact on the outside there with race winner Delmont. Just won race 3 and is now trying to come back through the field. He's into 12th.
12th place might be 11th if he can make his move outside of Paul Donkin. Marcelo Pagnan just made his way into the top 10, so a really good race for him. A really good, I guess, round for him, Andrew. He was a really strong driver today. As you can see, extra battles. That's Delmont trying to pass Paul Donkin on the outside of entry. That's going to bring the whole back end of the top 20 close together. As you can see, a few drivers switching up, and that's going to be it. And Tom Griffiths goes down the inside of Casper the Court. They're nearly gonna make contact. They're gonna door bang. So Casper not wanting to get that track position. Well, Tom Griffiths has other plans. He really wants that second place to challenge the number 4 for the race lead.
We'll see if he's able to do just that. They come around Woodcote and we'll come back onto the front stretch. Casper the Court gonna have the draft here into Cops. Griffiths on the inside, and Jamie Gulliford is watching the entire thing, knowing that Liam Silkstone is approaching.
He's just trying to close in that gap, but obviously that's going to be a class battle. As you can see now, the number 594 trying to go around the outside of his closest competitor, of Jamie Gulliford on entry, trying now to get a better exit. Looks like he just did, Andrew, and this could be a battle for the Pro-Am lead as we head into Brooksfield. Liam Silkstone with a really good run. He's going to be looking to the inside. Yes, he will. Down the inside. Can he outbrake his competitor? Goes deep under braking. No, they're going to go side by side, nearly making contact. He has to brake mid-corner, and they're going to go side by side into left field.
Oh, so close here between these two. Gulliford hangs on to the spot for now, and Silkstone slides right back in behind. This will wrap up lap number 8. There will only be 6 laps to go here in the day of racing.
Now Silkstone looking down the inside of Gulliford into turn number 1. Marcelo Pagano with the fastest lap of the race.
That's
Liam
contact.
goes really deep, and they make a bit of contact. He has to take to the off track. Luckily for him, that's going to be tarmac. And it looks like Thor Tulo might want a piece of that action as well. He's going to go down the inside of Jamie Gulliford. That's going to help Silkstone to create a little bit of a gap. As you can see now, Thor Tulo on the outside of entry. Can he get them move? He's going to be forced out wide. Not quite close. Gulliford closes that door, but Thor looks like got a good enough exit. Now you can see Ben Williams, Marcelo Paganum, and James Clark. Marcelo with an excellent run. He's going to try to get 2 right now on the inside of Ben Williams. They're touching doors essentially, and Marcelo's going to go down the inside of Brooklyn. Nearly make contact, but they both keep pointing the right direction somehow.
He got Thor, and Thor got Jamie for a moment. That was scary through Brooklands. There's been a lead change. Tom Griffiths now on point over Andy McEwen and Casper DeCourt, your top 3.
So now Tom Griffiths is going to have that position to defend for the final 5 minutes of the race. He was on the attacking since the beginning of the race, now on the defending. He has to watch his mirrors because right now he has 2 cars behind him that are eager to get that spot for him, trying to win. Can the number 11 hold off the pressure, Andrew? Can he keep that car, well, if good enough exits to not allow the number 4 and the number 5 to get good enough runs on him?
Time will tell here. Watching from high above, McEwen now on the defensive. He's got Casper, but he gets that draft from Tom Griffiths. Will get back clear of that car as Ben Williams has a problem just behind our leaders. Williams has gone around. I think Clemens maybe got contact as well. We'll go back up front. Andy McEwen grabs the race lead in Brooklands. Sliding, though, is the rear end of that Mazda. Griffiths now second. Casper DeCourt third. Liam Silkstone takes advantage of the stack up. He gains a lot of time here.
He's going to be gaining a lot of time, and don't rule out Liam Silkstone yet. He wants to get a victory, and this might be his chance, Andrew. But McEwen leading the race. Tom Griffiths might make a move down the inside of turn 1. Not close enough to dive down, but the top 3 extremely close. Now Liam Silkstone as well, really close to the leaders. This is a 4, maybe even 5 car battle for the lead.
Gulliford is still here. Thortullo as well. Griffiths look to the inside for that bend, but not there for Maggots or Aintree. Andy McEwen now, he will definitely be on the defensive. A great run for Tom Griffiths.
Great run that forces Andy McEwen to go defensive early on in the straightaways. You can see him all the way to the left side. The number 11 goes to the racing line. He's going to be trying to outbrake the number 4, trying to hold it around the outside. No, maybe get even a better run on that line up to left field, but looks like the number 4 did a perfect job defending Andrew. He's going to keep that spot for the time being. It looks like Silverstone is trying to make his way past Casper the Court, and it looks like he really has the pace to do it.
3 laps to go this time by. Running 1 minute 4s, 1 minute 5s out here. Griffiths, is he going to have a look into Cops? Not just yet, but he was certainly thinking about it. Do you make a move in Cops? Is that somewhere that you try and pass here late?
Well, you can definitely try to. Obviously, you're going to be compromised on exit with those competitors behind, but that's definitely an overtaking opportunity. As you can see now, Casper the Court going defensive. Liam Silverstone trying to make his way around the outside into entry, trying to get a cutback line to maybe get a better exit. Looks like it's not going to be his round just yet. Then Gulliford might have a move on Silverstone for the time being. As you can see now, Griffiths going on the outside of McEwen. Can he make that move? He tried on the lap before, couldn't really make it. Can he go deep under braking right now? Trying to hold around the outside. Not close enough once again. The number 4 holds position. The number 5 trying to go around his outside. He's going to be forced off wide, trying to get a better run on the exit. But still, Andrew, the number 4 leading the number 11. That leads the number 5.
2 laps to go this time by. McEwen leads. Then it's Griffiths. Then it's Casper the Court. Holding pattern right now. Liam Silverstone sits in 4th. Maybe a bump draft there from Casper down the front stretch. Griffiths gets close again in Cops. Does he wait 1 more lap? Does he try again in Brooklands?
Oh, he might just do it this time by on entry. As you can see now, heading into Maggots, maybe on entry. That's going to allow the number 5 to maybe sneak down the inside, not quite. So the number 11 really will have a good run. As you can see, they're already side by side. This might be his chance, Andrew.
He's certainly going to have a look. He's going to entertain that thought. Now slips back in. Wants to hold up the draft here from the 5 car of Casper the Court. Casper goes way out right. Going to challenge around the outside of Griffiths. Side by side for second. We've seen this hurt the second place battle before. When second and third start going after it, it tends to hurt that battle. And the winner is able to drive away. Now, Casper the Court cleanly into second, but Griffiths is not saying no. Side by side, first and second. Andy McEwen now leading, well, still leading, and he's trying to build a gap. He might be able to do so. White flaggers out, presented by Whiplash Simcams. Second and third, tucked in behind. Third gives way, that's Griffiths. Now Casper the Court, solidly in second. We'll go to Maggots.
Tom Griffiths might just have a great run out of Cops. As you can see, he does. He's gonna go side by side with Casper the Court, so he definitely wants that second place. Maybe even challenge for first at the end of the lap, but not quite. Casper goes really deep on the braking, nearly making contact with McEwen. Not quite close enough, though. This might be it, Andrew. 0.3 of a second might be too far away to make a move.
That really hurt Casper's chances here. That's a lot of ground to make up. We're already under the bridge. We're already into the braking zone for Brooklands. Right there, the noses dip. Is Andy McEwen finally going to grab an overall race win? There you see it officially. The white flag presented by Whiplash Simcams. Casper the Court. 1 more lunge through left field, but it's not enough. And out of left field, it's just Woodcote to go. It's all on power from here. Further behind, Liam Silverstone is finally going to take a win in class. And Andy McEwen is an overall race winner. And maybe not, there was contact there at the wall. But yes, Andy McEwen finally grabs a win in BSR Trophy Tuesdays in the winter season. What an incredible 4th race in the day.
What an incredible race overall. That was absolutely fantastic. Incredible battle for the lead, with McEwen winning ahead of Casper the Court. Tom Griffiths, Silverstone, as you mentioned, winning the Pro-Am class. Wow, I'm out of breath.
That was really, really good right there. Really good racing. I maintain that I think Casper kind of shot his shot just way too early there. Challenged an Aintree and really hurt himself for that run on the back stretch. Let's watch this one on the overhead. This is the run, I believe. Oh, this is several laps actually to go. We went way too far back. Let's bring this back a little bit. Get back to where we want to be. This will be the final lap. So there's that side-by-side across the line with 1 lap to go for second. Let's just watch this from the overhead. It was a lunge there into Cops, but that wasn't a move for the race win just yet. It's the move in Maggins and Aintree that I think really confuses me. It just seems like way too early. You want to set up there. You don't want to challenge the apex, and Casper was very aggressive. He saw an opportunity. I give him props there, but you're killing your run for this backstretch if you do that.
I'm not quite sure, Andrew, if that was a move or maybe just, I guess, just missing his braking point, because he was defending as well from Tom Griffiths. If it was a defending move, well, he did his job, but as you mentioned, if it was trying to get the lead, definitely not the place to do it, and unfortunately, that really did hurt his opportunity to maybe snatch a race victory.
So Andy McEwen finally gets one. I think it's going to be a little too late for the points lead, but it's certainly going to help him with Jason Cooper well down the order. I say well down the order. Jason Cooper did recover for seventh rather. What happened right at the end? Oh, Andy almost threw the race away, hitting the wall there. That was very close.
That was extremely close. I'm pretty sure he had his heart in his mouth, but as you can see, he's already celebrating. And I mean, he definitely should.
That was something there. Can we get one more look at that? Let's just watch this all again from his onboard. It was rather poised today. I'll give it to him. That fourth race, and he texted me on Discord right between those races saying, man, my luck has just not been there. But that race goes nicely for him, big time. Gets the race win finally. What happens here, though?
I'm pretty sure that was maybe celebration. Remember, the finishing line is before. He's just right after this corner. Right? Oh, but he almost threw that away.
Yeah.
If that car got stuck in that wall, that would have been absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah, it would have. Let's go way back and see if we can find the issue for Marcelo Pagnon and James Neve and those guys. I don't know exactly when it happens here, but this is when they were still up here. Pagnon, Neve, and Williams, they had a big coming together, and I think it was out of Aintree, and this really changed the dynamic of this race. It takes James Clark out of it, too, and it really, I think, was what allowed the top 5 to battle the way they were. I think maybe even top 6 because of Thor. It just allowed those guys to battle without too much issue. That was a heck of a move there from Marcelo Pagnon and Cops. James Clark gives him a bump. Adam Delmont there as well. So Delmont around the outside. Neve. Oh, man.
Oh.
So Williams came down on Marcelo Pagnon, who had really cut off the nose. Oh, well, then he's just letting the car roll. You can't do that. Disbelief or not, I'm sorry, but you've got to make sure you hold the brake when the track is that stacked up like that. Let's get one more look at it here. So you'll see the big move from Marcelo and Cops. So watch the black and yellow SRC number 24 on the inside of the black and red 75. A bit of a block there from Ben Williams, and yeah, Marcelo said, nope, I'm going to stay here. They make, oh my gosh, that was fun contact through Cops, but then it gets a little less fun up here in Aintree.
Yeah, Marcelo just, does he outbrake himself? He gets a bit of a push there from, is that Clark? And just,
he didn't get a push. We saw it on the previous angle. There was no contact between Marcelo and James, but he definitely came over on the 20's nose. Thankful they didn't make contact, but there was certainly contact between Williams and Pagnon. Let's watch this from Marcelo Pagnon's point of view, and this is just not what you want to see.
No, definitely
very
not.
Big set. It's the same thing Casper did on the final lap, where you just straight line there instead of arcing it. Oh, Ben Williams gets destroyed by Nick Clibbins. James Neve destroys Marcelo. Oh my gosh.
Fortunate, and as you mentioned, Marcelo should not have the car just slide back, just hold the brakes. Everybody's going to take avoiding action, and unfortunately, he takes out James Neve in the process.
And these cars do have some tricky ABS. He could have been on the brakes. It doesn't look like it, but he could have been. Obviously, stewards will go through it, and they'll figure out what needs done, if anything. and handle all of that, which means that we then can focus on bringing in a race winner finally in Andy McEwen. And JP, guess what? You get to talk to him. You get to talk to the guy. He's going to be excited.
Well, finally, Andy, we get to talk to you as a race winner. How does it feel?
Did that actually happen? Have I finally won one of these things?
Absolutely, you did. Almost threw it away on the final few meters, but you definitely did.
I'm sure we can
Yeah,
talk
I'm just
with your
gonna
other
pretend-
steward friends, Andy, and get it reversed if you want. I mean, I'm sure we can get that changed. I'm sure Casper would like it.
I'm absolutely certain he would, yeah. Do you know what? I'm going to just pretend that first lap didn't happen, because that was a complete rookie error, almost losing it on the first corner on cold tyres. And I think if I had have done, I might have quit BSR for good in shame. So I'm very happy I managed to save it. And yeah, up against some of my good mates in the series there, fighting for the wins. That was good fun.
That was absolutely amazing fun watching you do that. How difficult was it battling with Casper DeCourt and Tom Griffiths throughout the race? How difficult was it maintaining your position, and obviously when you were overtaken, to get that position back?
It is tough because obviously the slipstream's so powerful here. It's impossible to break away. And that means that you either have to hope they work with you, which they did for a while, both of them actually, both Tom and Casper were pushing me along for a bit. But then eventually they're going to try and overtake you, of course. So that's when I had to get my elbows out and start defending. And I hate driving defensively. I hate driving around the inside of the track, but it's the only thing to do. And I haven't won one of these things in a while, so I did what had to be done.
Absolutely. And well, I mean, you mentioned it. You haven't won a race like this. I mean, throughout the season, how, I guess, nervous, how much pressure were you feeling on the final few laps, knowing there was a possibility that you could win a race?
I am terrible at leading races. I hate leading races because that's exactly what happens. I start writing my victory speech before I've even got halfway through the race. And I really was feeling the pressure towards the end there. But I was quite confident that I had the right strategy, knew where to put the car. And yeah, I mean, they're hard to win. I think I've done hundreds of these races now, and I've won 3 of them ever. So, I'm not saying I'm the fastest driver out there, but it shows just how difficult it is to win these things on a regular basis. And it makes what Jason's doing even more impressive. I mean, the man's a machine. I don't know how he does it.
Absolutely. And with that being said, with this win finally cracking your first victory, how confident does that get you to next round at Brands Hatch?
Well, I don't really know. I told you last time we went to Brands Hatch that I don't like it, and then I went and had a really good night, so I don't know what
Tell
to
me
expect
again you
next
don't like
week.
it.
Yeah, it's my worst track. I never do well there. There you go. See if that brings me
There we go. So next week, there you go, breaking news, Andrew McEwen wins all 4 races.
That would be nice. If it doesn't happen, though, I'm blaming you, okay?
Oh, no. Well, I have a really good commentator's curse. Andrew can back me up on that, so it might just happen. But with that
I
being
know that well. I'm guilty of that myself, so all good. No, I'm looking forward to it. Brands Hatch is a good track, and I think my chances of beating Jason for the championship are pretty much gone now once the drop scores are applied, so I'm just going to try and have some fun and get some more wins.
Andy,
Hey,
I think what it is for you is we paid you today from that Streamers Championship that you helped us with way back in January. Yeah, is that what brought out the win today? Finally, you were like, oh, these guys paid me. You know what? I have a reason to try.
I know, I thought I might as well put on a show for you just to make sure you were getting real value for money. So, and that's what I was doing in the other races. I could have won the other 3 as well, but it would have been too easy. And I thought I'd just keep you waiting till the last race, build a bit of suspense and put on a good show for you. That's what was going on.
Yeah, you just had to let the
go.
guy that's chasing you in the championship, take the points lead in 2 more wins, right? You just, wanted to let him get a leg up. I see how it is.
Hey,
it's the L plan.
I have seen so many people win real and sim racing championships, and I know exactly how it's done. And what I did tonight wasn't how it's done, but hey, worked out in the end, I suppose.
Absolutely. Saving the best for last. I'm pretty sure he's going to win the final 8 races and snatch the championship. But with that being said, Andrew, who do you have to thank? Who do you have to shout out for tonight's race?
Usual people, really. Everyone at year one. Thank you, actually, to my teammate Colin Sampson. Was really helpful. A couple of races tonight where I got shuffled to the back after various incidents, and he never made it hard for me. And actually, a couple of other drivers out there. I know they're not my teammates, but I'm going to thank them anyway, because Jamie Gulliford, in particular, he moved out my way a couple of times there. Didn't make my life difficult, and amazingly, one of the Excite cars, actually. I think it might have been Liam Silverstone did the same thing. So, I appreciate those guys that have, they understand what's going on in the championship. They don't just fight everyone like there's a £1 million on the line. And so thanks for making my life a little bit easier tonight.
Absolutely, and with that being said, Andrew, hopefully we can talk to you 4 more times next week. But until then, well, have a good one.
You'll be sick of hearing from me by the end of the season. Thanks, guys.
Well, Andrew, that was Andrew McEwen, and I guess, well, he just said everything. We're expecting 8 victories from the next 8 races.
Yeah, he's going to need 8 wins in the next 8 races. A, to tie up Jason Cooper, and B, to try and take that points lead back and win this championship. Let's take a look at your race results this evening from race number 4 at Silverstone, and you can see, I don't know, that feels weird to say, kind of like these Brits say, Silverstone. That's different. Silverstone. And there's an E there at the end. It's Silverstone, definitely. But Silverstone, I don't know. Anyways, from round 7, we'll say, Andy McEwen with the race win, Casper DeCourt second, Tom Griffiths third. Then it's Liam Silverstone and Jamie Gulford. So Liam, not the official overall win, but it is a win in class there in Pro-Am for Liam. So he just needs to come to talk to me instead of you, it seems like, JP. He gets 4th place overall. Thoratolo there in 6th. Jason Cooper 7th. Adam Delmont recovers for a top 10 there as well in 8th. And it's good to see Jason and Adam at least end the night out, maybe not on a win like they had earlier in the day, but at least still in the top 10, especially with those inverts. Paul Donkin there in 9th, and Michael Seal finishes 10th.
11th place goes the way of Lars Fischer. Andrew Jepson finishes in 12th for what I consider personally a good day for him. He was battling on race number 3, was it, for the overall win, so a really good day for him. James Sharp in 13th place ahead of Julian Schroer. Douglas Stewart in 15th, and Colin Samsam in 16th place. That's our amateur win, so well done to him, managing just by 0.4 of a second beat Adam Mitchinson for 17th, for 16th place. Adam in 17th, Craig Schill in 18th place, and unfortunately Andrew Craig got the pole for the amateur class on race number 1, but unfortunately the round did not go his way. Fiona Siddons in 19th place and Mark Oliver in 20th.
Finishing 21st, you'll find James Clark in the number 20, along with Nick Clemens, Lee Holmes, Marcelo Pagnon, and Ben Williams. A bunch of those guys involved, as well as James Neve involved in that big crash out of Aintree. Michael Lees finishes 27th, and Glenn Humberstone. Did he ever get laps completed today? I don't know if that's bad luck, or if he had to leave in each of these races, or what was going on for Glenn Humberstone, but not a good day for the 513. But hey, at least he was here. That's collecting points, and that's better than not being here at all. So that is at least the bright side there for Glenn Humberstone today at Silverstone. It was definitely an interesting day of racing here, JP. That gets it done for round number 7 in Trophy Tuesdays. That means we get to look forward to, again, tomorrow night. It's the Outlaw Sim Series Daytona Duels, of course, from Daytona International Speedway. And then, hey, BSRTC right back here at Silverstone on Thursday. Kind of the same thing, rinse and repeat, get right back at it, but with touring cars. We've seen just how different those races tend to be. It's this whole different kind of, I think they have the same levels of excitement very often, but it's a different kind of excitement in a weird way. And it's wild, these touring car races, and the way they're able to hang on to the cars when they start making contact, even more so than these Miatas, because it's front-wheel drive. Just pound the throttle to the floor, and you'll probably be okay. And of course, Tuesday, we bring Trophy Tuesdays back next week with Brands Hatch on the full course, the Grand Prix course, and that'll be a lot of fun as well. We do, as I mentioned earlier, have an upcoming new series in the North American Racing League Porsche Cup Championship. That starts in just over a week, literally a week and a few hours. We'll be right back to our Tuesday doubles after I guess once that comes back next week. And then we'll have, of course, the Outlaw Sim Series starting up next week officially at Daytona with their kind of season starting Super Bowl kind of event, if you will. And of course, we'll continue on with BSRTC action. If you want to get on the schedule here at Pit Stop TV, if you're a league looking to put yourself on this graphic right here, you can contact us, Andrew at pitstoptv.com, or you can follow along with these social media links and contact us at one of these social media links, JP.
Absolutely. For us, obviously, to get in contact with Andrew or to follow for news I guess news, just live streams, and obviously great pictures of this race. Follow us on each and every single social media at facebook.com/pitstoptv, at twitter.com/pitstoptv _, on instagram.com/pit_stop_tv, and on youtube.com/pitstoptv1.
That will do it this evening from Silverstone. Thank you for watching along today with Pit Stop TV. Thank you for joining us for coverage of the British Sim Racers Trophy Tuesdays round number 7 from Silverstone. It's been a lot of fun. We certainly have appreciated the time, and we always do appreciate the time here with the BSR guys. For everybody here at Pit Stop TV, today it was just myself and JP Costa, but we've got a big crew, including guys like Emerson Arden, Caleb Gladney, Eric Brennan, Trey Shuttlesworth, who is going through some schooling. In case you're wondering why he hasn't been around in a while, he's actually in London, so you can call him one of the British guys now, I suppose. He's got one of those study abroad deals, and I'm beyond jealous of him right now. We've got guys like Ed Shearer, Jane Cook, and so many others that help us do things here at Pit Stop TV, and it would not be without any of them for me to stand where I am. And thank you for watching each one of these broadcasts, and yeah, just very much appreciated. For all of us at Pit Stop TV, once again, thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next time. Have a great night.